3-0 with the Orioles. Since putting on that uniform, the offense have come alive. They swept the Angels, and they hit .350 against them and 3 quality starts. Tonight, Oriole Magic. Will it continue? Showalter hopes so, but the opponent's a lot tougher. This is a White Sox team that's been number 1 in the majors since June 9. Brad Bergeson will try and shut them down. It's a 4-game set. First pitch coming up. It's the Orioles on Masson, and indeed it is a beautiful evening here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards and the beginning of a 4-game set against the team that is leading in the Central Division, the Chicago White Sox. The Orioles coming off a walk-off win, their 7th of the year. That came against the Angels yesterday. They lead the majors in that department. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. For Buck Showalter and the Orioles, the W's continue. They did it against an Angels team that really was a bit down. They come up against a White Sox team here that's not down at all. They've been playing magnificent baseball since the middle of June. For the Orioles, what has really made a difference, as it always does, are the starters. The Orioles have been able to get the quality starts in the series against the Angels, 3 of them. It is the first time since May the O's have had 3 consecutive quality starts. Guthrie started it out. Brian Mattis would be in the middle, and then Jake Arrieta with an outstanding performance, even though he did not get the win. Why does it matter? Because the fewest starter innings pitched belongs to the Orioles. That means your bullpen gets overworked, and that's why the Orioles have the most relief innings pitched, and that just can't go on, Jim Palmer. So to have the Orioles starters coming around really matters.
Yeah, and we've seen, as you just mentioned, Brad Bergeson is going to pitch. He's 1-1 against the White Sox. He's a sinker baller. He can control the game by throwing the sinker, and he did that in Kansas City. Again, the bullpen blew the lead. So again, if you're looking at matchups, Danks has been very good. He's 7-3 over his last 10 decisions. But Bergeson's the type of guy that can control the White Sox, and that's what you need because they've been playing that well, 38-13.
And as with hitting, so with pitching, when one is going well, maybe the others will. This dog is available for adoption and is here at the ballpark tonight. night. 85 degrees. The humidity is kicked way back. And really not a cloud in the sky, and a little gentle breeze even blowing around the ballpark here tonight. Let's take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines for Ozzie Guillen's Chicago White Sox. Pierre, Lillibridge, Konerko, Quentin, Kotze, and Ramirez, Brzezinski, Viciedo, and Beckham, with Paul Konerko leading the White Sox in homers, RBIs, and doubles.
And here's our PNC scouting report on Brad Bergeson and what he needs to do to achieve success tonight. Well, you got to end that 7-game losing streak. He did it well enough in Kansas City. Both men did not pitch well. Trouble with the lefties, so try to control that part of it. And again, he is coming off a very good start, so you hope that momentum, big part of starting pitching, confidence, he's able to keep the ball down.
And here's the man he wants to keep off base, Pierre, leading off against him. A lot of base runners with 130 hits in 95 innings. You put the 30 walks together with it, a lot of people have been on base. Pierre, who was playing in, will drift back under this one, and Pierre is retired. And there's one down.
Well, take a look at our defense here at Camden Yards for the Orioles behind Bergeson, P.A., Jones, Markakis, Fleet outfield. Josh Bell back in the lineup. Some leg cramps kept him out. Lugo, as his tourist, will get a rest at shortstop. Roberts, Wigington, and then again Matt Wieters, as he usually does, catching.
Here is Brent Lillibridge. He's making his first start in center field this season for the White Sox. It's his 8th start overall. He's been at second base in a couple of games as a designated hitter, as a starter. Lillibridge, though, is out in center in this one with a 4-game set. Both managers trying to see who they can rest here on a given day. Alex Rios out of the lineup for the White Sox tonight. Fouled away, and a quick 2-strike count on Lillibridge. And for Bergeson, trying to get through this first inning, in which he has surrendered 10 runs on the season in the first inning. And as we mentioned in the open, when hitters start hitting, it's contagious. When pitchers start pitching, they put pressure on other starters to do the same. Yeah,
you want to do as well as they do, and you know, and I always thought, of course, this is a different team, but you get a chance to see other guys and how they change speeds. If you watch Jakey Arrieta, as Ben McDonald said in the opening, he established the 2-seam fastball. The slider was very good for Bergeson in Kansas City, but he's going to live and die with a sinker. And in the amazing thing, and I kind of noticed it, and I talked to him before the game, I said, your velocity's up. He said, it has been. He said, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Because the sinker may go away.
Right. But again, the slide ball very good in Kansas City, and he used it effectively.
Lillibridge will chase that one, and foul tipped into the mitt. And that will be 2 down here in the inning.
And that's the pitch we were talking about. Again, you run the ball down at the feet, and then you can come back. And when he struggles out of his hand, that slider is a ball. So they don't chase. Here, it's on the outside corner, and it just moves off the corner for the strikeout.
Our Exmo brought to you by H.H. Gregg. We make buying TVs and appliances simple. H.H. Gregg, price and advice guaranteed. What a year for Paul Konerko, an MVP consideration season for these White Sox, as Konerko comes in just driving the baseball. You see among cleanup hitters, Konerko with the home run lead over Cabrera, who's got 26 when batting cleanup. Now he's batting third tonight with Carlos Quentin in the cleanup hole. That is in the air to right field. Nick Markakis going back near the wall. It gets over his head. Konerko can't see it and will stop at first base. Konerko did not know where the ball was. It's right where the sun is shining off that Gulf sign out there, and he got the first, and he didn't know where it was, so he stays at first.
Yeah, the play's in front of him, so he's trying to get a read on it. And, of course, when you don't get the read and you know the scouting report, it's not the first time you've seen Markakis play first base, so you're not going to get thrown out. And he knows, again, short porch, good arm, and you don't have a lot of speed. Easily could have been an out at second if he tries to advance.
So he'll stay, and there's the first base runner of the ball game, and here is Carlos Quentin. Quentin comes in with a 4-game hit streak, making the start in right field, and he will foul that away. He, like so many of these White Sox players, over the last month and a half, have really pumped up the offense. .295 in his last 37 games, 13 home runs, 36 RBIs in that period, as Ozzie Guillen's ball club has rebounded from not a particularly good start. One of the, right now, all-time Major League comebacks Since June 9, look at that record. It's the best in the majors. The team average way up. The runs a run a game higher. Runners in scoring position way up. And the team ERA down. I mean, every part of the White Sox game since June 9 has vastly improved.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do, the pitchers, of course, have gotten a little bit better under Don Cooper, the pitching coach. Of course, since 2003, they have the most quality starts, but he just picked it up. Bullpen at the back end is very, very good. 4 guys that could close. And then, of course, when we talked to Steve Stone, Ed Farmer, people like that, Vizquel went to play third base when Teehan was hurt. And all of a sudden, the defense tightened up.
Got real good.
Yep.
2-1 strike count. Runner at first base, down to third base, backhanded by Bell. Bell rights himself, had plenty of time, gets the out. Good inning for Brad Ferguson. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Showalter's 9 coming up. It'll be Roberts, Markakis, and Wigginton, Scott, Jones, and Lugo, Wieters, PA, and Bell. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And Adam Jones, a red-hot O's hitter.
And our PNC scatter report on John Danks and what he needs to do to achieve success tonight. Roller coaster ride. Look at that. He started out 3-0, 1-5, 7-3, and that kind of coincides with how well they played, 38-13 over the last 51 games. Righties, he gets them out, change up, cutter in. And change is good because he's got one of the better change-ups with left-handed pitchers, and he's only 25 years old.
So Danks will go to work against the Orioles, who have struggled against the left-handers all season long. We'll see what they can do against Danks. Brian Roberts in the leadoff spot. And Brian will take the pitch for his strike. He's 5 for 16, lifetime off Danks. Most of these Orioles have some at-bats against Danks, who is 4-2 lifetime against the O's, and puts that one in there for a strike. Danks is 25 years old, 41 wins, 42 losses in his career. And the 1-2 delivery will miss outside. Roberts will take it to 2-2. It is his 7th career start against the Orioles. 4-2 record, 4.11 ERA lifetime. Roberts will reach and foul that one off, protecting. And the count will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brian getting back into the lineup. Still not a lot of at-bats for him. You see the hits per 9 innings. Danks is 5th fewest. And that's up high. Well, Roberts does what he does so well. He forces some pitches early in the ball game.
Well, he really does set the tone for the rest of the lineup. And well, you watch him work the count. And again, a lot of times you get to this 3-2 counts, you got to take a pitch along the way.
Roberts, a chopper off the plate. This is going to take a great play. Ramirez barehanded, throws it away. Might have had him on the perfect throw, but it was fire from that. And so Brian Roberts is on.
Well, another reason we talked about Vizquel, who has kind of helped Ramirez. Everybody's saying, he's Gold Glove caliber. And almost makes the play, though. But when you barehand the ball like that, you don't always get it on the fingertips. Or maybe a little bit more in the palm. The only way he felt he could get him. So it'll probably be a base hit. Lucky it didn't go in the camera well, or you would have had Roberts down at second base.
So an infield single for Brian Roberts to lead it off. And now Nick Markakis, who continues in that number 2 spot as he has been since Buck Showalter took over. Tied for first still in the doubles department, and good numbers off Danks, 6 for 18 with a home run, as Markakis continues to be one of the game's very best left-handed batters against left-handed pitchers. You see the career average against the White Sox and the 6 for 18 off their starter. 291 overall on the season. Markakis will take it on the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, as good as Danks is against righties at 195, lefties, and of course they don't get as many at bats. A little bit different. They're up at 285. Of course, the home runs come down, and then Nick hitting 349 against lefties, so it's a pretty good matchup here.
And that'll be a base hit into right field. Markakis continues to get it done. Roberts will stop at second base. Amazing number, 349 against left-handers, the second best in the majors for a left-handed batter.
Yeah, and he just gets a changeup, and again, the open stance. If you speed up the back with a changeup, Nick will get the bat head out. If you pitch him away, he'll take you to left field. Gets a changeup, first and second.
So the Orioles have a chance to get to Danks here in the first inning, and he doesn't give up many in the first. He's only given up 3 runs in 21 first innings that he has worked. A 1.29 ERA in the first inning. 3 runs, 21 innings, 21 first innings pitched. So Ozzie Guillen's ball club in trouble here in the first. Ty Wigginton. Now, bear in mind, Danks is a ground ball pitcher, and getting double plays is one of his specialties. Wigginton, he'll ground that one to the hole. He's got a base hit. Coming on to get it, Pierre. Play coming to the plate. Pierre, no arm. And a run's in. Wigginton, an RBI single, 1-0 O's.
Well, when you have a great changeup, what do you try to do? You try to get him off the change eyes by cutting it in. Watch this little cutter. Maybe some kind of breaking ball. It hangs up. Yeah, maybe just a slider that stays up. And just as Wiggy did the other night, able to get the 2-run single and keep it going.
57 RBIs for Ty Wigginton. And that's knowing your outfielders. Gary Allenson had him going all the way. Brian Roberts scores. Pierre has no arm in left field. He will sometimes one-hop it to the cutoff man. Here is Luke Scott, a designated hitter with a 4-game hit streak, 2 on and still nobody out. And the pitch is in there for a strike. Luke is 3 for 11 with a home run, lifetime off Danks. Boy, the Orioles would love to get this 4-game series kicked off against Danks with a big first inning and put the White Sox in the hole early. Second base, Markakis. First base is Wigginton. And that will be foul back. Luke has hit a very respectable 261 this year off lefties. 294 off right-handers. 5 of his 20 home runs have been against left-handers. And he certainly was part of that number. An unheard of number for the Orioles this year to do that well.
They came in at 217 and they just wore the ball out when they needed to get the big hit. Able to do it in that 3-game series.
Now 1 for 1 in this one. And that will be taken up high, and Danks with a 1-ball 2-strike count on Luke Scott. That's the All-Star break. 8 home runs, a slugging percentage of .761. Both of those numbers second in the American League, only to the home run leader, Jose Bautista of the Jays. Markakis and Wigginton get their leads. The 1-2 from Danks. And got him. They check at third. And Chris Guccione says, yep, he went around, one away.
Yeah, trying to, of course, this is exactly what Danks needs. He's just trying to go up the ladder with a fastball, and Luke holds the bat as well as anybody, but he couldn't there because, again, 2 strikes, and that's the key. So now again and he is a strikeout pitcher. 140 innings. Dank struck out now 110.
And that will bring up Adam Jones. Adam is having a tremendous August. He and PA among the leaders in average. Took a lot off that pitch, and strike one. There you see the highest averages so far in August. Torrey Hunter's number 1, Sean Figgins. Jones and PA at 467 each, tied for 4th. Mitch Mayer in between them. There is Felix PA. He's batting 8th in the order in this ball game. 0-1 delivery to Jones. There's the heater, foul back 0-2.
Yeah, chase the ball just a little out of the zone, and again the changeup slows the bat down. You're waiting a little bit, and then you're a little late on the fastball, and then you go out of the zone. And now Danks has you exactly where you want, because we all know Adam. When he gets strikes that hit, he's an awfully good hitter. And when he gets into the count, the good pitchers get him to swing at balls, and it's tougher to get hits.
Runners off first and second base. Jones will take it up high. Orioles come in with their 3-game win streak. The White Sox 3-1 on a road trip so far. They've won their last 2. They had a doubleheader to start the road trip out, playing against the Tigers. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Danks the look. Jones to center. Lillibridge back. Runner tagging Markakis. And the throw will come into second base, forcing Wigginton back, but Markakis does move up.
Take a look at the White Sox defense. And Pierre, Lillibridge, Quentin doing a lot of DHing in right field tonight. Viciedo at third, doesn't play a lot. He'll DH too. Ramirez, Beckham, Konerko, and then A.J. Przinsky around the plate, the veteran catcher.
Julio Lugo gets the start in this ball game, just to give his Taurus a breather at shortstop. And his Taurus, of course, the game winner in the ball game, bottom of the 9th inning last night for the Orioles. 2 down, first and third, and Lugo will take that up high. There's his Taurus 999th hit, was a game winner. So he's right there, 1 more to 1,000 for one of those milestone numbers. The 1-0 delivery on the way. Lugo on a breaking ball.
Yeah, and a good one. Yeah, the good breaking balls, they look like they're going to be strikes, and they don't end up in the zone, and that's exactly what that slider did.
The Taurus hitting .219 against left-handers. Lugo .320. Good night for Lugo to be in the lineup.
Yeah, and he's hitting .314 with runners in scoring position.
He's got first and third here. The 1-1 delivery to him, and that'll be outside. Danks having to work here, up to 23 pitches. 2 ball, 1 strike count with 2 away. Danks is tough. And the Orioles, the more you can get off him, as with most starters early, the better you are. Lugo chasing one that was up high. And the count goes to 2-2.
Yeah, there is Don Cooper. He said it just seemed like our defense got better. Our guys started throwing more quality pitches. They also started throwing strike one, something that Danks hasn't done yet tonight.
Here's the 2-2 throw over. Not a bad idea. Ty Wigginton, who hadn't seen a toss over there, kind of watching Lugo more than the pitcher, and almost got caught. Shelby's going to come over and have a word with him as they look to Allenson over at third. He was looking for signs. Danks thought he might be able to catch him between looks. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that will be punched in the air to right center field. It is not deep. Carlos Quentin will have time, though, and puts it away. But the Orioles get a run on 3 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. The O's up after 1.
Going forward is, can the Orioles maintain the level of intensity and focus under Buck Showalter for the rest of the season that we saw in the first 3 games under him? And Buck said it is a grind in August and September, but he said there are certain givens and absolutes in this game. He said playing hard is not only part of your job description, it's what separates players. He said ability's one thing, but mental and emotional toughness is a whole nother level. Gary?
Continuing to make the points as manager on expectations. Here is Kotsay. Kotsay is the designated hitter. He had the big ball game yesterday. Had a 2-run homer top of the 9th inning. And then came away with a triple that he hit in the 11th inning after the game got tied up. And in doing so became only the 5th player in 27 years to have a home run in the triple in the 9th inning or later in the same game. 2-1 pitch on the way. That one a good jam shot. Popped up to center. Jones, he's got it.
And the amazing thing about yesterday for Mark was that, of course, a lot of people saying and it looked like they may go after Adam Dunn and they need another hitter. And Ozzie said, well, if you're going to play him, you got to produce. And then Kenny Williams, the general manager, left a nice little note. Way to start him. Way to put him in the lineup. He gets 4 RBIs, and Ozzie is Ozzie.
Kotsay's probably going, oh, God, don't send that stuff to Ozzie. If you're congratulating him for leaving me in, the next game he's bound to pull me out of there. That's just Ozzie. Here's Alexei Ramirez. And the pitch is taken down low.
Well, the thing about Ozzie, he said, listen, he's hitting better than his numbers, but he better start hitting.
Ozzie's another no-nonsense, pretty much know what he's feeling most of the time. That one sliced the other way down the line, a long run, and there'll be no play.
Well, he's also, and I think he's very honest. He's a former player, as we all know, and a good one. And I think the players respect that because when he says something, they know that he played the game. It's not always easy. But you know what? If you're going to put your name in the lineup, it is a responsibility. And, hey, you need to play a little better.
Down to third, off the glove of Bell into left field. Almost. So Ramirez gets the second hit for the White Sox with one away here in the second inning.
Yeah, we told you about the slider. He's going to hang one right here. So you get lucky. He's able to catch it, and not a great lateral movement right here. Big guy, Josh Bell, long arms and whatever. That ball hit hard enough to get by him off the edge of his glove.
A.J. Pierzynski, who works behind the plate with a runner at first base. Of all the White Sox players, he is the one who has struggled after the All-Star break, a 175 average for him. But his job is to catch and run this staff. Overall, 234 you see, 6 home runs, 32 RBIs.
And when he does catch, that ERA 381. And that's what you look at, especially when you're on a roll. Good starters, good bullpen.
Pierzynski, a towering fly ball down the line that'll end up in foul territory. Before we leave Ozzie, worth noting, he had a comment coming in to Baltimore about Buck Showalter. He said, I'll tell you one thing, those guys are going to play better for him for some reason. Buck is the type of guy who demands players day in, day out to play good baseball. He only takes that job for a reason. He takes that job because he's a guy who maybe can put those guys, the players, back where they want to be. Comments from Ozzie Guillen. That one down the line, pulled again off Ferguson, and a foul ball. So Pierzynski with an 0-2 count, one down, runner at first. Orioles have the early 1-0 lead in the ball game. While we talk about the offense of this White Sox team, the Orioles face a club that lives on pitching. They are 4th in ERA and have given up the fewest home runs. Offensively, 7th average, 7th in runs. They do hit homers. They are 4th in the league. Runner goes. Couldn't get a good handle on that. And Ramirez will get an interference call at the plate. That's why, and that's that. So the interference call means Ramirez and Pierzynski are gone, and that's going to end the inning. Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire, and you can see the clear interference right in front of Wieters on that. So no runs, 1 hit, and hope. That didn't feel good.
Nope. NFL type of injury. You hit a helmet.
Brzezinski catcher to catcher. I feel your pain. So Matt Wieters will get the stuff off and come right up to the plate. And really, I think Brian O'Nora, home plate umpire, giving him a little chance. Oh, that's because the bird's right there in the third baseline. Must be an Oriole. That is taken inside for a ball. Thanks, giving up the run on 3 hits in the first inning.
Yeah, either that or San Francisco and Oakland. A lot of pitches out there. Especially when they know you're coming.
Now, wait a minute.
I want to do a game.
Don't go there. Was your jacket not
yeah,
on?
that it was. But it was post-game.
It was post-game. Here's the 2-0 delivery. The Seagulls come in. See, you start this now. The Seagulls come to Oakland as soon as the game ends. Fans leave. They come to eat. We have a screen behind us in the booth, which is open towards the field, and our backs are towards the field. We're getting ready to do the post-game show. And the next thing we know, there's a white spot on Jim's jacket. Here's a ground ball to second base. And Wieters is retired. Beckham starting tonight. Speaking of Luna, our second inning is brought to you by Luna. Our Luna doubles board, most doubles in August by team, Twins, and then the Orioles. Jays, Rays, and Angels. The White Sox, only 3 are last. Call today for the Luna double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 887-877-2411-LUNA. Did you charge Oakland for the cleaning on that?
No, I didn't.
Good man.
It was like Luna. It was doubles all over the place. You know. It wasn't just one spot.
Well, you went from a perfectly fine blue blazer to a polka dot blazer.
Yes, straight. Okay.
PA fouls that one away. We're talking about the hot hitters. We showed you that he and Adam Jones both in the top 5 in August. And as a result, PA's now hitting .290. 32nd game he's played. Couple of home runs, 9 RBIs. And Dank's up high to him. Orioles up on the RBI by Wigginton. 1-2 delivery to PA. Reached for it off the end of the bat to right field. It's on the warning track near the wall and easily played. Carlos Quentin made it look like an easy play. And there are 2 down. A new date for members of the Junior Orioles Dugout Club presented by Chick-fil-A, and that's going to be for the extra ticket voucher Sunday. You can redeem it for a free ticket. Members also are going to get to run the bases at Oriole Park after the game. Family and friends get tickets for only $6. Find out more about the Junior Orioles Dugout Club, 888-848-BIRD, or Orioles.com, or nearest area Chick-fil-A. Josh Bell's batting 9th. Had the muscle cramp problem. Could have played last night. Did not. Back in the lineup at third for this one.
Well, this is a good education for him. Good, you know, tough lefty. Righty came in at 195. He's going to throw the changeup away. He's going to come in right there. Jams him.
Broke the bat on that one. Play will be made by Beckham, and that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Danks with the Orioles on top. 1-0. baseman Josh Bell.
One of the challenges about moving players quickly is that you never want them to look behind them and say, I haven't mastered that level, and I'm ready for the next one. And Josh has done some real good things down there, but this is the right thing to do in the situation we're in where he's concerned. And I think he understands the opportunity he's getting. So we'll see where it takes us.
And Buck also said he had a personal conversation about that with Josh Bell to make it clear what that opportunity was and what he needed to do to take advantage of it. Speaking of young players, here's one the White Sox are really high on. Dayan Vecino is out of Cuba, played for the Cuban national team. And Vecino, the White Sox cannot say enough about his offensive abilities. They just love the way he swings the bat.
Yeah, they all said you will be amazed how quickly, if he hits one, how quickly the ball will get out of the ballpark. They said, what's the best defensive position? He said hitting.
DH is probably the ultimate role, maybe first base. They don't think he's a third baseman, which is where he is starting tonight.
Yeah, and when I asked Ozzie, I said, okay, you've been matching him up. He said, well, we just try to stay away from guys with real power sliders, and he's a real good fastball hitter.
Vecino will take the pitch up high. He is just 20. Let me be sure he hasn't had a birthday year. He's 21 years old. No birthday won't come until next March. And a good pitch. Brad Bergeson came in on him, and Bergeson throwing some good strikes. That's his third strikeout.
Yeah, and I talked again about the velocity. Watch this, 93 up and in. So if you're coming in, and again, how much does the ball have late life? So it's got good run to it. So it not only is it in, it's going in. That's that late life, that little tail on the ball.
One down. Here's Beckham. Beckham makes the move over to second base. He's played some third. Ozzie Guillen, even though he's got a ball club that's in first place, continues to maneuver players around. They've used 91 lineups this year. And Ozzie with players who are versatile enough to do that with in order to get the bats in the lineup. That's what they're trying to do. 1-1 delivery on the way. Looks like a slider that's going to be a little bit outside.
Well, he's been red hot when you talked about Gordon Beckham. He said, boy, I was horrible. 28 doubles last year, 270, came up around June 1st.
Got a hold of that one to left field. Pierre going back near the wall, at the wall, and it's gone. Goodbye home run. Just made it. Pierre gave it a whirl, but Beckham's got the homer, and this ball game is tied.
So again, that average of 247 doesn't seem what, but he started at 205 after early struggle. So they try to come in, but again, when it's 2-1, you're probably sitting on fastball. So 93, we talked about it earlier. That doesn't sink as much. Fastball hitter gets a fastball and ties it up.
So a 1-1 ball game. Now the top of the order. League's leading base stealer, Juan Pierre, who flied out his first time up. Beckham 6 homer, 36 RBI. And that'll be the 18th home run off Brad Bergeson, who has given up 9 to each side of the plate. Pierre's got a 12-game hit streak. He's not only hot in stealing the bases, he's hot in getting on, which certainly doesn't hurt the cause. Got his 500th steal yesterday, leading the majors with 41 this season. He's now 37th all-time in stolen bases. And he's chasing Paul Molitor, who's next on the list at 36.
Yeah, and he knows who he is. Again, 8 bunts, 28 infield hits. Now with 2 strikes, they'll move back a little bit. They won't look for the bunt. But again, because of his speed, you got to play him a little bit more shallow.
That'll be taken away. It's a White Sox team which has really used home field advantage at the new Comiskey. They have 33 and 20 at home, 29-26 on the road. A lot of that's offense. Bergeson fooled him. Really late swing.
Well, again, high gas, and we haven't really seen the sinker, so you wonder how that'll translate second time through the order. But again, this is just Powder River. And it's in the middle of the plate at 91, but again, good life.
So Bergeson gets 2 strikeouts in the inning with the Beckham home run in between. And here is Brent Lillibridge, the center fielder. He's got good speed as well. That'll go to short. Lugo with a long throw, and he'll get it. So 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Beckham's home run ties it up at 1. By Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. A busy weekend in the Inner Harbor. A couple of concerts going on. Big sports collectible show at the convention center. Lots of folks around.
I think the Ravens are actually having they're bringing their what do you call it, preseason, their practices down to M&T next door at noon, maybe tomorrow. So a lot of stuff. You go to their practice.
And if they're out of there by 4, I don't care.
They will be.
They will be?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then we're okay.
And then you just kind of hang around and come to the game.
Okay.
It's going to be nice weather. Not you. I'm not talking spitting. I'm talking about fans.
Oh, I thought you didn't think I was coming. Maybe you knew something I didn't know there.
No. I expect you to be here.
Thank you.
As always.
Kevin Millwood and Gavin Floyd, scheduled starters for tomorrow night's game. As Jim will be walking back from the football practice session.
Exactly. I'm going to try to do it all tomorrow.
Pitch is taken down low from Danks. Brian Roberts a single and a run scored. RBI picked up by Wigginton. In the first inning, the Orioles got the first 3 on. Nobody since. Danks outside. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, he's very thankful. And, you go through these situations. You come out of the bullpen, even though he hadn't given up many runs. You get out of harm's way, stay away from the big inning. They get you 4.8 runs a game. That's the average. And you're giving up 3.4. So you can stay away from the big inning, and you can pitch into the 7th inning. And that's what this team does, because they have a lot of, even Danks at 25 has a lot of experience. They're going to win a lot of games.
3-2 delivery on the way to Roberts and a chopper. That's going to be down to third. Luciendo up and will make the play for the out. Talked about against left-handers. Let's update you from the Orioles' perspective. Against left-handed starters, 10-25, tied for last win percentage-wise. 246 against lefties. That is 11th out of 14 in the American League. The top hitters, Nick Markakis, of course, second best in the majors for a lefty against lefties, and Julio Lugo with that 320 mark and in the lineup tonight. And here is Nick Markakis, and he continued those numbers with a single off Danks. So he's now 7 for 19 with a home run lifetime off the Chicago left-hander. Chicago's got a 1.5 lead, 62 wins in the Central. They in Minnesota, it looks like they're going to make a run of it. As those are the two teams that are involved. The split with Detroit really put the Tigers behind the 8 ball as far as any chance to catch up. Markakis fouls it away into the seats.
Yeah, you look at that number, at least the good lefties, and Danks is one of them, they control the running game. They've attempted 9 steals and only been successful 3. So the slugging average comes down, home runs come down. Wigginton, 17 home runs, 1 against left-handed pitching. Nick, 8, 6 against righties, 2 against lefties. You just don't score as many runs.
That has been an ongoing problem from the last couple of years against left-handed starters. Nick Markakis with 1 away, nobody on. 2-2 delivery to him, and that's a bloop towards short. Long and lanky Ramirez goes back, and he's got it. And there are 2 down here in the 3rd inning. See the standings. Last year, this year, 12-game turnaround for the White Sox to move into first place. Team average about the same. The home runs about the same. Difference, ERA just enough. When you combine that team ERA with that slight differential in average and runs, you get just enough to be a game and a half ahead in the Central Division.
And then if you go back over the last 51 games, that ERA gets down under 3 runs a game, and the runs even get higher. And that's where that's their season.
That is their season.
And you talk to we're both talking to Ozzie. You talk to their broadcaster. You talk to some of the coaches. Just seemed all of a sudden we started catching the ball, throwing better strikes, getting clutch hits. All the things that the Orioles done in the last 3 games.
Inside out to right field. Carlos Quentin is there. Wigginton is retired. And a 1-2-3 inning. So that's going to be 9 in a row retired after the first 3 reached. ALCS, who was Chicago's manager in 83.
He's a lawyer. He wasn't a catcher. He was an infielder. Still managing.
Still managing.
On the way to the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Tony.
There we go. Boy, were we on that one. Finally. See, that was a team game. Common cause.
Yeah.
Men and women together.
Yes.
You got to get them.
Paul Konerko single, 4-game hit streak for him. Middle of the order against Brad Bergeson. And that pitch just missed on a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, almost got the backup slider to catch the top of the strike zone.
Konerko 2nd in homers, 7th in RBIs, 5th in slugging. 1-1 delivery to him, and a chopper down to 3rd. Bell, plenty of time. Ground balls coming for Brad Bergeson. That's always a good sign. Send your kids back to school in style tomorrow. The first 10,000 fans 14 and under will receive a Matt Wieters chest protector style backpack. For tickets, call the O's 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. And forget that's tomorrow night. 1 down, Carlos Quentin. He grounded out his first time up. White Sox have won 8 of their last 10 ball games, while the Orioles look to continue a streak and go to 4-0. It'll be only the third time for the Orioles this season to have a 4-game win streak. The 0-1 delivery, swung and a miss. Great pitch by Ferguson.
Yeah, Carlos Quentin, when he's healthy, and 2 years ago he had 36 home runs his first year with the White Sox, 100 RBIs, plantar fascia problems last year. Only 99 games, still hit 21 home runs, but the average went down. But he is strong. And he gets hit 14 times, leads the American League.
They have the two guys who are 1 and 2 with Pierre's right behind him. Juan Pierre's been hit 13 times.
Really?
So they're 1 and 2 in the American League and being hit by a pitch.
Well, if you watch Carlos Quentin, that front shoulder's going to come in.
And chopped it right back off the broken bat and got him.
Wow. How often do you see line drives back to the pitcher that softly all over the kitchen? The kitchen is a term. Inside, right there. Good pitch. Great result.
Ferguson's throwing some tough pitches, tough strikes. 2 down here. Kotsay coming up. Kotsay flied out to center field his first time up. Kotsay, while he had a good day yesterday, has really been struggling at the plate over the last 3 weeks. His average at .223, 7 home runs, and 25 RBIs for him. White Sox are really hoping, as we talked his first time up, to get some more offense. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that one in the air to right center field. Markakis going back. Markakis looking right off the base of the wall. High hop into second base with a double goes Kotsay.
Yeah, and he's very thankful because, again, you get 2 outs and you're saying, we told you about the numbers off of Ferguson for the year, 360. And why they're coming in, I have no idea. And he gets it in, but it's down. And if you're a left-handed hitter, and we talk about it all the time, and I know it through 4,000 innings, they drop the head of the bat on him. Down and away, maybe a single. They don't hit the home run. They don't drive the ball. But again, you're a sinker baller. You don't need to pitch the lefties down and in. That's where they're going to get a lot of hits.
That will bring up Alexei Ramirez, who had a single his first time up. By the way, the official call on the play with the catcher's interference, where you had Ramirez on at first, he was trying to steal second. Brzezinski was at the plate, swung, missed, struck out. Wieters was interfered with trying to make the throw. It is a double play. It's considered an unassisted double play for the catcher. As the runner's out on the catcher's interference, Brzezinski was out on the strikeout.
Does he get a thrown a guy?
No.
No, he didn't get to throw a guy out and get that on the record?
No. Just foul. Runner on at second base with 2 down. And Ramirez, who had the single his first time up, he's been a good road hitter for this team. .296 and 4 home runs on the road for Alexei Ramirez this year. A 1-1 ball game. Top half of the 4th inning. Orioles won 3-0. The White Sox won 4-0. Pitch will miss outside, and Ferguson goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brad here this year is 2-4 in this ballpark with a 6.57 ERA. Lifetime 9-5 here at Camden Yards with a 4.23 earned run average. 2-2 delivery, getting to reach off the end of the bat. Lou goes up, and that will do it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The base runner left in scoring position.
on Utah Street. Open 2 hours before and 1 hour after each Orioles home game. There are plenty of big screen HD TVs to catch all the action en masse. And plus, each game, the O's All Access pregame show is broadcast live from the bar with Tom Davis and Dave Johnson. So don't miss the bar's pregame specials and postgame fun. Next time you visit Oriole Park, stop by the Bud Light Warehouse Bar on Utah Street. Gary?
Good summer treat. Buck Showalter looking to win his 4th. Here's Luke Scott. Showalter 3-0, and as a result of that, he's the 4th manager to win his first 3 games with the O's, joining Hank Bauer, Earl Weaver, and Davey Johnson. His best start, taking over a ball club, he won his first 6 with the Yankees back in 1992. Scott with a 0-2 count. Luke, a strikeout victim, his first time up. 285, 20 homer mark, and 47 RBIs. In the friendly confines of Camden Yards. He's taken advantage of, and he does again. So Scott is on a base hit, a 5-game hit streak for him, leading off the 4th inning. Tonight's Maryland Lottery Hit It Here fan of the game, Yolanda Jackson from Mount Airy. If an Orioles player hits the Hit It Here sign located in the bullpen area, Yolanda Jackson, you're going to win $100,000. To find out more about how you can become the fan of the game, visit mdlottery.com/Hit It Here. Yolanda, good luck. Wasn't Mount Airy the town next to Mayberry?
It was, wasn't it?
Oh, Mount Pilot. Sorry.
Mike. Oh, no.
I thought it was Mount Airy.
Who knew that in the truck? Somebody. Truck knows all.
Truck does. It's amazing.
It really, isn't it?
Well, our production people, that's what we call it. They're in the truck, literally. It's downstairs, embedded in cement. But it is always air conditioned, however. That's where all the magic comes from. Here's Jones. The Orioles now with 4 hits.
In fact, we don't even really talk. It's them. We're just lip syncing.
Absolutely. They say it in our ear. We repeat it. Just out over the air. It's amazing how that works.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing that I know of. Adam Jones, 276 as he stands in. The 1-0 delivery to him. Is that tail away pitch that right-handers can't hit.
Well, yeah, the change. That was one of our PNC keys to the game. What advice do we have to give John Day? Well, I don't think we have to give him much. He's 11-6, 3.40 ERA. He's learned to pitch. He's only 25. Kind of a poster boy for Brian Mattis, where he struggled early on in his career when they got him from Texas.
Down to third, backhanded. Throw to 1, and that will be it. Good takeout slide by Scott. Lucieto down there at third base. Almost got handcuffed on that one.
Yeah, he's got to go a long way, and again, playing deep, because even though Adam Jones will bunt, so again, when you make the 180, you know if you're Gordon Beckham, you're not going to have time. And Luke Scott, running a lot better since he's recovered from the hamstring, or actually, he's able to get there and break it up, and that's the way you play the game.
Well, Beckham held on to the ball wisely,
but he should have got out of harm's way. Again, as you mentioned, played third base last year. Now playing second.
Now runner at first base and 1 down. And here's Lugo, flied out to right field, his first time up. Ball game tied at 1 apiece, first of 4 against the White Sox. Isaac and Buck Showalter matching up for the 29th time. That pitch will be taken for a strike. 2 managers against one another, 14 and 14 in their times. Texas and the teams that they have been involved in. And the White Sox. 1-1, Lugo. Jones drawing a little attention as Danks will make the throw over. Yankees and Boston are going at it in division play. It's a big series if the Red Sox hope to remain in. The Yankees would love to be able to get them out with a sweep. Here's the 1-1. Lugo will foul that one off at the plate, and the ball and 2 strikes. Lugo against the White Sox, a .267 career hitter with 4 home runs off White Sox pitching. Not a big lead at first base. Hard to get a good lead against Danks. That's why those numbers Jim talked about are so low, stolen base wise.
A lot of that has to do. I saw both Mike Flanagan and Scotty McGregor today, and McGregor kind of helped Mike with his pickoff move, and then Mike helped guys when he was a pitching coach, and when you came through the organization, that's what Mark Burley's done for John Danks. It's very hard to get a big lead, so you control that facet of the game.
That'll end up in the seats down the right field side.
See, you like to get your primary lead and then your secondary lead, but if you don't know if he's coming over or going home, it cuts down. You get more double plays. You don't get to first and third. You don't score in as many doubles. And Danks, a little bit different. He was the 9th guy chosen out of high school, out of Round Rock, and then he would come over in the Brandon McCarthy trade. And after pitching about 160 innings at AA and AAA, he's in the big league.
Lugo fights it off. We talked about getting double plays. Danks is 3rd in the American League in getting opponents to hit into ground ball double plays, 17 of them on the season. Trying to get Lugo to do that right here. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Danks 1-1 in 2 previous starts here at Camden Yards. And again, the throw over.
Yeah,
that's not his good move.
No. But it really does cut down your lead.
1-2 still on Lugo.
And then a slide step. Yeah, he doesn't throw it for a strike, but this is how you control the running game.
And even with that, he had Jones going back to the bag.
Well, and he's shaking his head because that wasn't even close to being a strike. But the slide step, if you can command it, it's number one, it controls the running game, and then also you quick pitch the hitter, which can be effective on occasion.
2-2.
There's a better move. Not the Burley move, though. See, the right leg hangs. If it gets past the pitching rubber, you have to go home. That's what the rule book says. So he just kind of hangs it right there, and he can go either way.
2-2 the count. Really working here. Only 1 away. He wants to keep Jones as close as he can. So on the ground ball, they'll be able to get that pivot at second base rather than having a hard slide if that situation comes to be. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Lugo. He waits. Lugo swings and misses. Danks will pick up the strikeout, and there are 2 down.
Well, here's the change. Pulls the string on him. And again, that's a Cole Hamels. It's kind of the changeup he would throw. It's not well located, but the arm speed is so good you don't read it. And he swings through it in the middle of the plate.
Danks had retired 9 in a row prior to the single picked up by Luke Scott. He was taken out on a force play. Jones over there at first now with 2 down. Matt Wieters grounded out. His only at bat. The Orioles on the board first inning. Roberts, Markakis, and Wigginton all had singles. Wigginton got the RBI. Beckham tied it up. 3rd inning, his 6th home run.
Yeah, John Danks averages just a little under 16 pitches per inning. So he's at 63. And the 2 outs here in the 4th. He's pretty much right on that number, maybe a little bit higher. And then again, I mean, it's not like Adam Jones steals very much. He's got 4 out of 10.
Lead.
Yeah.
That's why Adam's kind of smiling. He's not really going very far off the bag. These signs are coming from the dugout. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and that will be taken up high. 1 ball, 1 strike count from Danks. There's Ozzie. I think he's got Cora giving the signs over there. He sometimes will use 2 coaches giving signs, one for real and one a decoy. Swung on for a strike, 1-2 on Wieters. Walker, the hitting coach, Greg Walker, standing to the left. All smiles with the way his offensive players have produced. That's got to be 6, 7 throws over there.
At least.
Two down, 1 ball, 2 strike count. And back into the screen.
Yeah, the one thing about Danks, and again, the 9th out of all the players chosen. So tonight he's been from 89 to 93. If you look away, he cuts it in. If you look in, he throws a changeup. It fades away, which is why he's so tough against righties.
One and two. And Wieters to left field. Adam Ball Pierre. And he's got it. So no runs on one hit, no errors, and one left on base. The pitcher's duel continues here at Camden Yards. One apiece. Rethink possible. And by Honda. Look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, and Theo Harris on this beautiful Friday night. First of 4 against the White Sox. A good crowd on hand. Brad Bergeson hasn't walked anybody. He has struck out 4. Orioles starters have been outstanding over the last 4 games, issuing only a couple walks. Jake Arrieta with 2 in the ball game last night. To second base, Pierzynski right at Roberts. A pitch in and out here in the 5th.
Hit sharply, but again, the ground ball, or semi-ground ball, a couple of hops right at your second baseman. That's always nice.
The young 21-year-old playing at third base. Visito is only going to play, according to Ozzie, a couple of games in this series. They're trying to bring him along slowly. It is only his 4th season of professional baseball. I mean, obviously started very early playing with the national team for Cuba. 1-0 delivery on the way. They just want to give him a chance to adjust. Hits a silo shot, Wieters. Got him twice, struck him out, popped him up.
Now you get aggressive hitter, and he's been able to stay out of the zone to get him. So let's take a look right here. The only run, and again, a little bit better stuff tonight. So right here, they move in 2-1, hitters count. And I tell you, he doesn't get it in. He's looking fastball, and there is the only run for the White Sox. Which is a little unusual. Usually you go away when you're behind. That's Chris Ray Miller, who will be honored tomorrow. Just got in the Oriole Hall of Fame. You pitch in when you're even or ahead. 2-1 and is not even or ahead.
And the strike taken by Gordon Beckham, who delivered his 6th home run in that 3rd inning. Beckham with his 2nd home run on the road this year. That will be swung on and missed. Good pitch. 1 ball, 2 strike count from Brad Bergeson. A grounds crew view. 1-2 delivery. There's only a 30-day sentence. He'll be out shortly. 1-2, 2 down.
Either that or the next rainstorm.
Whichever.
They'll let him out for them.
And the 2-2 pitch to him will be outside. Count goes full, 3-2.
There you go. Pretty efficient. In fact, very efficient. Got to go down and talk to Warden Nicole Sherry. You want to get out of that caged area.
And lost him, and that'll be the first walk surrendered by Bergeson. It comes with 2 down here in the 5th inning. So that will bring up Pierre. The leadoff batter is flied out and struck out. Hitting .265. He too has had better numbers at home in Chicago than on the road. Pierre .287 at home, .247 on the road. In at third base is Bell, as Pierre will at any moment lay down a bunt for a base hit.
Well, again, the 8 bunts and the 28 infield hits, and so you know he's got blazing speed. Beckham doesn't run a lot. He's only attempted 8 steals, 4 successfully, and been caught 4 times.
2 down, the delivery by Bergeson, and that will be taken for a strike on the inside corner. Pierre looking down to third base. Jeff Cox with the signs. See whether Beckham might be running or not. Wieters throwing out 28%. Base stealers 6 for 6 with Bergeson on the mound. And the throw over to get him back down. White Sox will be going home to take on the Minnesota team that's chasing them. And the following week they'll go to Minnesota. Runner does go. They got him caught halfway. Somebody missed a sign and got back in. Beckham just gets in under the throw from Lugo. But they keep him at first.
So he's going right here, and then he stumbles. So Lugo does the right thing. He comes in and tries to make the snap throw, and so there's your snap throw. Lugo's going to come in, quick throw into the runner. You can't hit him, and Beckham gets to the outfield side of the bag and is safe.
So it was the stumble that caused the stop, and that breaking ball is down low. A 2-ball, 1 strike count on Pierre. He was fortunate he stumbled where he did. 1 more step and the Orioles would have had him. Beckham checking, asking Munoz, the first base coach, about the signs. And the throw over. Harold Baines is generally down there at first. Harold had the knee operation. He's here with the ball club. Looks good. And on the bench rather than out there at first. Well, he does a little rehab.
That's 7 weeks out. Feeling good?
Yep. While he's out, Munoz comes on to do the coaching at first base. Omar Munoz. 2-ball, 1 strike count. And a timeout was taken at the plate. Apparently by the batter, Pierre. And granted by Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire. Pretty good lead at first for Beckham. There he goes. That's in there for a strike, and that's a beautiful throw right on the money. And Wieters couldn't have done any better than that. Gets Beckham to only 3 up in the inning. It's as perfect as it gets. 1-1. And ask the question, Amber, and you will get the answer.
Yeah, and doing it at AA or AAA, it's not here in the big leagues. You just don't have guys with the stuff or the command. And well, where else do you learn? Where it counts.
Right here. Felix Pierre leading it off, and Danks gets it in there for a strike. Danks no walks, 2 strikeouts. Ferguson a walk, 4 strikeouts. Pierre inside to him. 1-4-0 for both ball clubs. The Orioles have left 3. White Sox have stranded a couple. And Danks will miss with that. The other thing Pierre's been doing a lot more of in the last 4 games under Buck Showalter, taking pitches. 2-1 delivery on the way, and he rifles that one foul. 2-2. Pierre, Bell, and Roberts coming up for the Orioles. White Sox lead the league in 1-run wins. They are 19-12. The Orioles won one last night. They're 18-16. Taken to the bag by Konerko. Pierre's retired one away. What a great story. Jim Gentile, the former Oriole, has been awarded an RBI because of a mistake on a non-recorded RBI in a scoring sheet back in 1961. It's official. Ties him with Roger Maris. And Jim Gentile's been here the last 2 days. He threw out the pitch, and he got the $5,000 contract guarantee that was in his deal if he was the RBI leader. 1961. The check arrived today. Yep. Andy McPhail making the presentation. It's a great story, and that's a great move by the Orioles organization for just a great guy.
He really is. I got to know him at the Oriole fantasy camps, where he actually he was telling a story today at the table. He got thrown out of the game. Ray Miller alluded to it, and the same with Lenny Johnson, who got inducted to the Hall of Fame, who used to run the fantasy camp. And the umpire said, if he's going to manage, we're not upright. That was at noon, because they had games in the morning and the afternoon. So he got suspended for a day because he's a great guy, but I think people that saw him play, that's a long time ago, but he cared. And but I think he was really that's not the 5,000. I think he was just moved by the fact of that gesture.
He was it was not expected.
No,
he knew he was coming back to be recognized for having tied Roger Maris with 141 RBIs, beating Colavito by 1, tying him. But he never expected he was going to get the $5,000 check.
I think his agent is trying to reach Andy for the interest.
You're in trouble now. Swung on and missed, and Bell is retired on the strikeout. He's 0 for 2. Danks gets his 3rd K. 2 down. Sunday, join Nick and Christina Marquez, the Right Side Foundation's 2nd annual 5K run and 1-mile fun walk in Baltimore's Patterson Park. Proceeds from the race benefit distressed children throughout Maryland. The race begins at 6 following the O's game against the White Sox. That's Sunday. Sign up, rightsidefoundation.org or 410-308-1870. Brian Roberts, a single. And he has grounded out 1 for 2, scored the Orioles run on a Wigginton single in the 1st inning. And will foul that one away. For Brian, last season, against left-handers, he hit .294, .278 off the righties. Obviously hasn't had enough at-bats to give any meaning to the numbers this year. 1-1 delivery. Danks is there with a strike, and it's 1-2.
I wonder what $5,000 compounded with interest is since 1961.
A lot. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And down the line in right field, and that's going to be a foul ball. Just off the mark.
So it's just kind of like a deferred salary, in a way, in a sense. They deferred it 39 years later.
You just want a cut of this, don't you?
No. Well, no, if they're going to give me interest, then I definitely want a cut.
$36,500 would be the interest. Wow. A chopper towards the middle. Backhanded. Oh, that's a fine roll. And Beckham will come back to play some more. Good hustle by Roberts.
Well, Ozzie doesn't think so, and he appeared to be out, but the only thing that matters is what the umpire does. And I mean, it's a terrific play right here. And again, he played in third, played some shortstop in college, and I mean, a lot on it. And he's out, but they call him safe. Konerko, big guy, ball in glove, or maybe a tie. Tie goes to Brian Roberts. Well, the good thing is, he might have been out by a quarter of a step, very, very close. What I like is the fact that the back appears to be better, and the shin, because again, when you hit the bag that hard, those are the kind of the trials and tribulations once you've had back problems. So he beats it out. He's happy.
So that's going to prolong the inning. And Brian Roberts gets his second hit, 2 for 3, 2 down. Markakis a single, and he's popped out. 5 hits now for the Orioles. And Roberts taken back to the bag. Let's see if the Orioles can take advantage of the call going their way. Close call. Nick at 292 now. Roberts, decent lead. Not going anywhere, and the pitch is down low for a ball. Danks has been so tough that he has taken a no-hitter into the 6th inning 5 different times. And that's since 2008, the second most only to Ted Lilly over that time frame. That's how tough he's been. Jammed him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And again, I talked about the fact that both he and Brian Mattis, who pitches for the Orioles, both #1 draft choices. Of course, John came out of Texas high school, Brian out of the University of San Diego, but their repertoires very much alike. The difference is Danks is 2 years older. He's got a lot more experience. Got to the big leagues a little bit earlier.
Markakis and a shattered bat. Will get a base hit into center. Roberts will stop at second. So Nick's 2 for 2. So the top of the order for the Orioles, 4 hits in 6 at-bats for Roberts and Markakis.
Yeah, and because of the speed of Brian Roberts, he's able to beat it out. And then right here, Markakis came in against lefties hitting .349. That number's gone up, 2 for 3 tonight.
Ty Wigginton has the Orioles RBI. Similar situation in the first inning. He had Roberts and Markakis on ahead of him with nobody out. Now he's got them on with 2 down. 1 for 2 with that base hit RBI single in the first inning. And Wigginton will take it up high for a ball. Wiggy just 2-11 with runners in scoring position on the year. He's had a lot of chances, up to 97 opportunities. 1-1.
Take a look at it, and we talked about again. Look at the difference, and I didn't read until I ran this. This is the season. The Orioles, of course, they've had more opportunities than the White Sox. They're the 13th in runs, and the White Sox are 7th. Well, look at the difference when you're able to hit just 50 points, 45 points higher. What it means as far as, and of course, a little bit better power numbers. But I had no idea. You would think that the Orioles came in at, 226. It was 217 about 3 games ago. You figure, well, they didn't have a lot of opportunities. They've had the opportunities. They just haven't been able to take care of them. So last year, at 284. This year, now 226. And what a difference it makes in your offense.
One of those close ball games the Orioles have played and decided by 2 or fewer runs go the other way if you can just get even just 1 more hit per game. Came in on him. That'll be fouled away. Wigginton 242 off lefties, 263 righties this year. Trying to get another RBI. Buck Showalter watching his ball club taking on a division leader. A White Sox team that's very much in a race and needing wins. 1-2 delivery. Danks away.
Yeah, when Buck took over, the next 20 games this year were all going to be, with the exception of the Seattle, against teams that are either first and second in the division. And then you get into September against the American League East. 3 teams vying in contention there.
That one in the air to left field, and Pierre will get over there and put it away. Wigginton hit it hard. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. The pitchers remain in charge. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford Drive One, and by H.H. Gregg. We make buying TVs and appliances simple. H.H. Gregg. Price and advice guaranteed. Good opener as we go to the 6th inning. Brad Bergeson, after his 4th win of the year, he is 1-1 lifetime against the White Sox. In fact, Bergeson started against them and got his first win.
Well, there it is, the box score, only the home run by Beckham.
And that one will miss.
Yeah, you see Ozzie Guillen, he sends Beckham trying to steal bases, even though he doesn't, and not very adept at it, because of Pierre doesn't mind having him lead off the 6th here. Because if he gets on, as you mentioned, leading the American League in steals.
And our White Sox in-game box score presented by MassMutual.
You may see one of the better umpire games tonight with Brian Lenore behind the bay. Very consistent. Calling balls, not giving him anything. Looks like he's a pretty fair umpire for both the hitters and the pitchers.
That one just tailed away off Bergeson's fingertips, 2-2. 2 starts against the White Sox, 2.31 ERA. Good numbers for Bergeson. And he got that first Major League debut win April 21 of 08 against the White Sox. Brian Roberts will range. And no easy play when you've got Pierre running.
Well, you're already cheating in a little bit, again, because of the bunts, the 8 and the 28 infield hits. So you come in, you better get it quickly. Not only will you get to it quickly, you better get rid of it quickly. Off balance throw. Well, again, when you have some back problems every play, you kind of watch to see how he reacts to them.
Here is Brent Lillibridge. 26-year-old center fielder hits one to his opposing center fielder. Jones is over to get it, and they're 2 down. Bergeson's throwing a lot of strikes. White Sox recognizing that, so they're coming up and swinging with only 1 walk in the ball game.
Well, that is part of the process. And as long as you can throw strike 1, and both Rick Kranitz has talked about this, Buck Showalter looking on, and Don Cooper, pitching coach for the White Sox, he said, you try to throw strike 1. If you get him out, everything's good. If you don't, you throw strike 1 and make better pitches.
There you go. Here's Paul Konerko. Konerko takes it in the air to left. That's an atom ball. PA is there, and that's about as quick as you can get it done. A 1-2-3 inning, bottom of the 6th coming up. Ball game 1 apiece. Your own great moment starts at Hager.com. Here at Camden Yards, ball game tied at 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Night game tomorrow night with Kevin Millwood against Gavin Floyd. Sunday afternoon, 1:30, Jeremy Guthrie and Mark Burley. And then Monday night, Brian Mattis and Edwin Jackson in this 4-game series against Chicago. RBI by Wigginton in the first for the Orioles. A Beckham home run in the third for the White Sox. And our O's in-game box scores presented by Mass Mutual.
Yeah, 3 consecutive hits, which got the Orioles their run, and then Danks pitched out of problems in the first. And again, not a whole lot after that. Which got, of course, and again, he gets righties out better than lefties. So come on, you left-handers, even though 2 of the first 3 hits were by right-handed batters. Roberts will lead it off, and Wigginton to get him in.
Luke Scott. And he'll foul that one away. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Luke is a .286 hitter on a lifetime against Chicago pitching. He has picked up 1 home run against the White Sox and 10 RBIs in the 21 games that he's played against the White Sox. Another broken bat. We've had a bunch of those tonight. Beckham makes the play. Scott's retired. And 1 away in the 6th. Orioles Reach is going to host the American Red Cross Blood Drive Saturday, August 14, 8 to 4. Club level at Oriole Park. Meet Rick Dempsey, Boog Powell. Enter to win a VIP experience complete with tickets to an upcoming game. A chance to watch batting practice on the field. All donors receive 2 Oriole tickets and a Matt Wieters bobblehead. Reservations must be made in advance. 1-800-RED-CROSS to sign up. August 14. Adam Jones. Jones has flied out and reached on a fielder's choice. He is 1 for 14 in his chances against Danks. 1-0 delivery will come inside, and Danks falls behind 2-0.
Yeah, even now at 2-0, you'll look fastball, but you just don't know you're going to get it, and that's why Danks can be so successful when he's making quality pitches.
That one's going to fly away. And a 3-0 count. First one we have had from Danks in the ballgame. 3-0 and Adam Jones with Lugo to follow. 25-year-old, 71% of leadoff batters retired this year. He didn't get the leadoff batter in the first inning, and the Orioles took advantage of it. He did have one of the leadoff batters, Scott, with a single in the 4th, but got out of it. 3-1 delivery on the way, and he comes back from 3-0 to 3-2.
Yeah, the good news for the Orioles pitch count is right at 100. And they again a great bullpen for Ozzie Guillen, and Don Cooper's looking on. They usually let him throw somewhere 103 to 111. Highest this year 112, and that was back in May.
3-2 down to third base. Cento backed up on that one and gets it over there in time to get the out. So Danks came back from a 3-0 count to get the second out of the inning.
Well, pitching again, we talked so much about it. Is you look over the 2 bullpens, it's feel and touch. So if you do go 3-0 and you're experienced, even if you're only 25, you figure out, hey, what am I doing? What do I need to throw some strikes? And then you combine that with the stuff that John Danks has, and that's how he gets back into the count and gets the out.
Does it here, and now Lugo with 2 down and nobody on. And Lugo will take the pitch up high for a ball. The White Sox are the final team the Orioles meet for the first time. The Orioles have now played everybody. They hadn't played the Angels, and they hadn't played the White Sox. Last year, White Sox lost the series. The Orioles came away with 5 out of 9. Only the second time the Orioles had won a series over the last 10 seasons. That is in there for a strike. Orioles will be reciprocating on a trip coming up to Chicago.
Yeah, last year they were 79-83. So they're better. Orioles not playing to the level they played last year.
That one to short. Ramirez. And Danks continues to get the ground balls. A 1-2-3 6th inning. 6 complete. Ron Ferguson go back to work. form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Ree, hit him in the knee. Ree, hit him in the other knee. Okay. You just gotta love the kids, don't you? Huh? Brad Bergeson will go back to work here as Carlos Quentin will stand in. We go to the 7th inning. Well, Bergeson has indeed followed the quality starts in this homestand, the 3 previous ones against the Angels. Quentin at .236 on the season. He is grounded out and lined out softly back to the pitcher his last time up. 0-1 delivery is a strike called. 0-2.
Yeah, he didn't like the first call, and he wished the second one hadn't been called a strike. But he is a power guy. Boy, he can hit the ball right center, left center, and hit it far. And sits right on top of the plate.
0-2 delivery to him, and that one got him. Tag put on to make sure. 5 strikeouts for Bergeson.
Well, again, what do you do once you get to 2 strikes? You make a quality pitch, just about as good as it gets. Close enough to be a strike, and that's why you like the pitch ahead. Gets him to chase. Terrific pitch.
Bergeson has struck out as many as 7 this season, doing that on 2 different occasions. Kotsay a double and is flying out to center field. Mark Kotsay will take it away for a ball. A pitcher-dominated game on both sides, with both sides coming in with their bats hot. The Orioles hitting .350 against the Angels in that 3-game set, averaging 6.7 runs a ball game. And Bergeson against a Chicago lineup that, as we said, has got the best record since June 9, and they too have been doing it not only with the fine pitching but also with some pretty good offense. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and that's a strike.
Oh, that is about as good as it gets right there, to be able to, after a guy, you pitched him down and in when you got behind the last time. He doubled the deep right center field. Now he just drops the curveball off. And I'm not quite sure it caught the corner, but it was close enough.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that's a roller gone foul.
And of course, once you do throw the 2-1 breaking ball and you throw it for strikes, you command it, then the rest of the at-bat, there is no way what Mark Kotsay has any idea of what's coming.
As you saw by that swing.
Yeah, well, you're right. And then
he's just trying to protect, especially with that called strike.
That's
that
right.
May have been a little bit away, so he's really got to extend the strike zone a little bit.
And then, of course, Brian Oronora gave him off the corner a little bit, so you got to protect there.
2-2, that one hit hard. Markakis going back, and that will be right off the base of that fence. He's got a chance for 3. Kotsay's on the way. Here's the throw all the way over, and it'll be a stand-up triple with 1 down.
Yeah, Mick Markakis couldn't quite get it off. It came right off one of the posts where the ground crew. So for the second straight game, and right there's what it hits. And he doesn't hit the cutoff man, so you have no chance to be able to throw that ball that far in spite of having a good arm. He's going to overthrow the cutoff man right here. So any chance of getting Kotsay at third is gone.
So Kotsay apparently has found the bat. Going into yesterday's game, he was 5 for his last 42. He got 3 hits, including a homer and a triple in the ball game yesterday. And now he's got his second triple of the season and his second hit of this ball game.
Yeah, he just got another slider, something down in the zone he could get the bat hit to and put it over Markakis' head.
Now the infield is drawn in by the Orioles, and here's Alexei Ramirez. And a slow roller, runners coming. Played, Wigan to the plate. Wieters got it blocked. He got him.
What a play. Boy, if you want to help your pitching, you better defend. And that's exactly what happened here. Great pitch. If you're trying to get the ground ball, Ramirez is going to hit right off the end of the bat. So this has got a lot of spin on it. And Wiggy, snap throw on the money. Weeder's out to block the play. Kotze's not even going to get there. No chance to get to home plate. He never gets there. Terrific job of blocking the plate. Cannot do it any better.
Perfect by both ends. And that is an enormously important play in the ball game. So now it's a runner at first base with 2 down instead of that runner at third with only 1 away. And here's Brzezinski. Throw over to get Ramirez back.
And you got to go back to your last at bat. First pitch was pretty much in the middle. He hit it very hard, but right at Brian Roberts. So with a man on, your outfield's a little bit deeper. Where do I go to keep the ball in the ballpark? Make my pitches. And that's usually try to stay down, sink the ball, make him expand the zone by going out and cover the outside corner.
Ramirez 6 out of 12 stealing bases on at first. There are 2 away. Brzezinski has struck out and grounded out. And he'll foul that one right off the end of the bat.
Boy, that's a good place to stay, and that's one of the better changeups that Brad Bergeson's thrown all night. This is the time of the game where the pitch count's still well in hand at 87, but this is where you pitch. Yeah, might be getting a little bit tired, even though it's a perfect night to pitch. Cold fronts come through Baltimore. Just make your pitches and take your chances.
0-1 count. Ramirez goes, and that will be fouled away. Brzezinski trying to drive one with the runner going and get him all the way around from first. Instead fouls it off, and it's a 2-strike count. You see for Brad Bergeson, 69% first pitch strikes, 50 for Danks. That has got to be as high a number as Bergeson's ever had.
And again, he's made quality pitches with it, with a couple of exceptions.
Brzezinski waiting. 352 average in this ballpark for him. Runner goes. Weeder's throw will not be in time. 7th stolen base for Ramirez with 2 down.
Boy, that's a nice call by Ozzie Guillen. Not a lot of speed. Didn't get a big lead, but you figure 0-2. Maybe doesn't focus, doesn't hold the runner as well. Weeders doesn't make a good throw. You could see, again, it's just a little bit to the shortstop side, so no chance of throwing him out. Go-ahead run now in scoring position.
Brzezinski with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Runner going. And that is fouled, and he had third base. He could have walked in, as Brad Bergeson was not going to watch him, concentrating on the batter. With the foul ball, with Brzezinski having to swing here with the 1-2 count, will send him back to second base. Turnaround. There's nobody moving in on Ramirez. Roberts is playing way over towards first base with a left-hander up, and the shortstop Lugo is staying back and not really moving in now.
Yeah, I think everybody's focused on what I would be focusing on, which is getting the hitter out, especially with 2 strikes. And again, when you have speed at second base, you know, Alexei Ramirez, he doesn't steal that many bases, even though he just stole one as far as percentage-wise. But with 2 outs, he's going on contact. He's going to score unless it's a line drive, most likely right at Markakis on 1 hop. So get the guy out, and you don't have to deal with that.
Ball game tied, 1-1. We're in the 7th inning. Brzezinski back in. Here's the 1-2 delivery to him in the air to right field. Going back, Markakis. Warning track. Wall. Nick Markakis hauls it in. Down goes the helmet off Brzezinski. He slams it into the ground. Wanting a little more, but Markakis was there to get it. It remains tied. 7th inning stretch.
Again, a lot of good defense, interference right here. And then Beckham in the third inning, he hits a home run to tie it up. Right here, a little different story. Beckham thrown out by Matt Wieters. Great throw. And right here, some more great defense. Wigging to Wieters. He blocks the plate. And then the last out in the seventh inning. Nice play by Nick Markakis. AJ, not one of his favorite plays of the night. 1-1.
Ferguson, the one earned run, 7 innings pitch. Wigginton with that single and Beckham with a home run. 1-6-0 for the Orioles, 1-5-0 for the White Sox. And Buck Showalter coming over to talk to Ferguson, along with Rick Kranitz. Notice how intently Bergie looks up. Whatever it is that Buck Showalter brings from the inside, he gains the attention of those who are under his command.
Well, and he also communicates real well.
He does. Yeah.
I mean,
don't do that. Don't do that again.
That and the fact, I mean, Earl Weaver was that type of guy. He lets you know what he thought, what he expects.
Yeah.
And I think for most players, now Rick Kranitz talking to him, I mean, there is some guys throwing in the Oriole bullpen, but
we'll see.
I mean,
it would probably come out if the Orioles could score here and get a lead, and if not, maybe back. Wieters has grounded out and flied out, and got him. Danks gets his fourth strikeout, one away here in the seventh inning. Warm-up action all over the place. Tony Pena, Chris Sale.
Yeah, Sale. I mean, he was their number one draft choice in 2010. So he didn't hang around very long in the minor leagues. 6'6" lefty.
Felix Pie. Pie will take it inside. 5-game hit streak not extended yet. He has flied out, grounded out. Coach Uehara has been outstanding for the Orioles warming up. Left-hander Danks did Pie go. They want it checked, or Danks did. They're not going to get it, though. Now they will. No, he didn't. And a 2-0 count. Pierre's taking pitches here against Danks. And that will be in there for a strike. Bell is on deck.
Well, that's part of the maturation of a hitter. You shorten your stroke, as he did last year and this spring, even though he did get hurt. Major back muscle, the trapeze. He pulled it off the bone. So the Orioles played without Roberts. P.A. Atkins came over, did not hit with power. So you didn't have a lot of sluggers in your lineup. But PA, the more pitches you get to see, if you have natural ability and you hone that skills of having a shorter swing, better hitter you're going to be.
2-2 delivery to him, and that's going to be taken down low. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count with one away from Danks, who is 4-1 in his last 5 starts. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Game tied, 1 apiece, 7th inning. That's going to be in the air to right, and that is going to be short-hopped, I believe. No! It is called out by the first base umpire, Jerry Crawford. PA arguing he thought that ball short-hopped, but Showalter's on his way out. And he's talking about positioning here, whether Crawford could see it or whether Phil Cussey, the second base umpire, was in a better position.
Yeah, that ball bounced.
That was a hit.
I mean, nice effort by Carlos Gwen, but that ball is definitely on the grass before it gets in. And again, in a 1-1 ball game, he saw it. So did John Shelby, first base coach.
And these are the kind of plays, and there were a couple last night that were important plays that were miscalled by umpires in a game. But video replay, every time something like this happens, video replay will be talked about again. It's not going to take any longer to have video replay get this right than it's taking to have the manager to come out and argue about it.
Well, and I'm sure Buck's point is, are you sure you have it right? Maybe you want to ask one of your other guys. He may have had a better angle, and that's all he wants. Of course, Felix wants the base hit.
That's a big play.
Well, he not only does he want to get on, he's got some speed. Danks is a tough customer.
Obviously, Jerry Crawford's not inclined to say, all right, I'll talk to another umpire here and see if I got it right. Crawford is the crew chief. Buck looks like he wants to hang around a while.
Well, I think he knows he missed the call. And it's not an easy call, but again, maybe one of the other umpires had a better angle.
And Crawford's about had enough. That's where and now Ozzy's getting upset because his pitcher's having to walk around. Ozzy now is going to third. To Chris Guccione saying, come on, let's go. My pitcher's standing around here with 2 down. Let's play. Now Crawford's the crew chief at first. And don't think Buck doesn't know Danks is standing around. Now, if Bell can hit a home run, you'll see Ozzy explode over the scoreboard.
Well, he's got the power to do it, whether he's going to get a pitch and whether he can stay on it long enough.
2 down. That's my argument for video replay. I think it should be used. I don't think it slows the game down. You are definitive on when you're going to use it. You have the 5th umpire. He sits upstairs. He watches all the video replays. He buzzes down, says, made a mistake, change it, and it's done. A lot faster than what you just saw. Here's the 2-0 delivery to Josh Bell. It is in there for a strike, 2-1. Bell has struck out and grounded out, and Ozzy's still upset.
Well, again, if he wanted to speed it up, Jerry Crawford could have just said, hey, did you see it differently to the second base umpire? And then, of course, Ozzy wouldn't be happy then either.
No.
Because he would have changed the call.
And that will be foul back. Three ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. And Danks comes right back and gets it done. He strikes out 2 in the inning, 5 of the ball game, 7 complete. And this one remains 1-1. Numbers over the last 9.
Yeah, he's really been pitching. He's healthy. Last year, hamstring and forearm problems. This year, hamstring problems. And of course, when you tell him nice pitching, he goes, legs feel good. And it allows him to just give him a little bit extra. Now, you just kind of wondered because of the long stint, and it was an important one, inning the 3rd. He came and this was a game the Orioles were leading 9-1, and he would come in and strike out the side in the 8th inning. You're wondering, with only a day rest, if this will be effective. But again, a little more zip on the fastball. He knows how to pitch. He's got a splitter that, when he throws it properly, goes down, and he's facing a very aggressive young 21-year-old hitter.
So here we go. Heck of a game to the 8th inning, tied at 1. Licedo up, and he will take that pitch. He has popped out and struck out. Playing at third base in the ball game tonight. Fozzie sticks to his plan. This will be one of the 2 games in this 4-game series he will play in. 0-1 delivery, and that'll be swung out and miss. Koji Uehara coming big on him, 0-2.
Yeah, I think 86, when he gets over the front side and that healthy leg allows him to do it, it looks a lot quicker than that. And now he's got the splitter that is the equalizer, and they're going to come up again.
Licedo, a big cut, and he is gone.
Wow. Well, so what's that's 4 straight strikeouts, 3 on Wednesday night. Look at this, right to the target. A little bit extra out of the zone, young hitter. And quite get it, so you get the idea that maybe Dayon likes it a little bit farther out over the plate. They make the perfect pitch.
Like Showalter moving that infield back a little bit. Pitch will be taken by Beckham. A home run, 3rd inning. That's the run that's on the board for the White Sox. His 6th of the year. Came off Ferguson. Brad Ferguson with a tremendous performance. Strike taken.
Yeah, he's not happy with that call. Thought it was outside, which it probably was. Strike zone's got a little bigger in the last couple of innings. Just an inch or so off the plate.
1-1 delivery to Beckham, and that's a strike. And he didn't like that one either. And it's 1-2. One run on 5 hits against Ferguson tonight. He, of course, is non-decisioned in the ball game. But as with Arrieta last night, who didn't get a win, it was their effort that gave the Orioles a chance to win, which they did last night and may do here again tonight.
Well, it helps the bullpen because they don't get as many innings, and then you kind of bring the guys in you want.
And Beckham will go down swinging.
So that's 5 straight punch-outs by Koji in his last 2 games. And again, a little extra, a little hop.
2 down. Here's Pierre. Pierre's been kept off the base paths. Flied out, struck out, grounded out by Ferguson. Ferguson walked only 1. He struck out 5. Pierre with his 12-game hit streak coming into this series. And he will take that pitch, and it is in there for a strike.
Yeah, Koji keeps pitching like this, like you referred to. They're going to have sideburn night
They will.
In September.
It's a great idea. Sideburn and antler night. Not on the same night, though. That would be ugly. A 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Oh. Oof. Might have to water the lobster.
Here's the 1-1. That'll be grounded towards the hole. Backhanded by Wigginton and safe.
Yep.
A dangerous head-first slide by Pierre, but he gets in.
Well, he gets there because Koji just a little bit late. And when you have speed, you better get over there. You can't hesitate. Go, straight line. Hurry. Nope. Boy, that's Juan Pierre. I mean, nobody gets out here earlier. Nobody hustles more. I don't think anybody can fault this young man's work ethic. I know when he played with the Marlins, they used to just talk about how early he'd be there. Other guys would still be stretching. He'd be out taking balls in center field. So he really does work.
He's a team conscience guy. And that will be his 29th infield hit. Leading the majors in that department.
Well, I don't know how long he's going to linger at first either.
No.
With 41 steals, which leads the American League coming in.
Lillibridge is 0 for 3, so you got to believe on the first or second pitch, Pierre will be taking off. He's got the green light. Coach Uehara was reminded by Wieters to look over. And the toss is made.
Well, with 2 outs, you obviously want to make a quality pitch, because if you do, it enhances your chance of getting an out. But the sooner you can do that, the less chance he has to run. I mean, the longer you go and the deeper you get into the count, the more chances. And he's leaning.
Lillibridge will take the pitch up high. That's what the White Sox wanted.
And that's difficult to do because you have to quicken up your delivery. So the way to do that is either slide step or you get the hands out of the glove a little bit. Now he starts very much like I did, where he starts with his hands right about the Oriole level. See right there. So again, you can quicken it a little bit.
1-0, runner not going. A check swing. Wigginton's got it. He'll go to the bag and get the out. Lillibridge retired, and so are the White Sox. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Bottom of the 8th inning. A pitcher's duel continues with a lot of fun. That died at 1. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates tonight. Brad Burgess had a great 7-inning performance, a run on 5 hits. Beckham in the ballgame tonight's provided the lone run, his 6th home run that came in the 3rd. And Brian Roberts, defensive plays, 2 singles, and a run scored. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. Both starters, Don DeSation, John Danks is gone. And here is Chris Sale.
Well, this was their number 1 draft choice, the 13th guy picked in 2010. We're talking June. So rushed through the minor leagues. Ozzie Guillen looked at a film. He says, why isn't this guy up there now? Well, he's here. This will be his major league debut. 6'6" lefty. The last guy that came right out of the majors, I don't think he did it this quickly, was Alex Fernandez back in 1990, who would turn out to be a terrific pitcher. Won 18 games for the Reds, for the White Sox at one point.
Contract purchased on the 4th of this month for Sales. Brian Roberts will be leading it off against him. Brian tonight with the 2 singles, a run scored on a Wigginton RBI. That was back in the 1st inning.
Yeah, Terry Crowley, as you look on our left right there, the hitting strokes, he said the back end of this bullpen, he wasn't talking about Sale, most of them throw 95 or better. And let's check out Chris Sale. Again, 6'6", 175 pounds. Oh, there you go, mid-90s, 96.
Ozzie Guillen stays with the left-hander as Danks had an outstanding 7 innings, giving up the lone run back in the 1st. 6 hits. He didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 5. So both starters have given their teams a chance to win and turned it over to the bullpens. That is up high, and as you might expect, the long, lanky one, Sales, falls behind 3-0. Roberts will wait him out. 3-0 delivery taken, and 4 in a row puts him on. So Chris Sale's coming on. I mean, these are important games for the White Sox. This is no plenty of time to break in kind of thing.
Well, they have so many other options. So, again, you want a guy to get some experience. But, you have Thornton. You got Santos, who pitched yesterday. You got Tony Pena already warmed up. You got Putz, who, was one of closer. He's healthy, throwing in the mid-90s. So, of course, Ozzie says, if you're here, I guess we're going to use you. He asked
here, and you're in a pennant race. You better be usable.
Well,
you're just taking up space.
Well, they'll find out. And it won't be the first guy that came to the big leagues throwing the mid-90s who couldn't get it over, though. And if that will be the case.
Nick Markakis, he has 2 singles and he has popped out. There's the first strike thrown by Chris Sale at the major league level. The White Sox bullpen is 4th in ERA. They have allowed the fewest home runs. They have the most strikeouts per 9 innings. Their bullpen overall numbers have been even better than their very good starters numbers. Brian Roberts, you don't know whether Brian is healthy enough to actually try and steal a base or not between the back and the contusion on the shin. But it is Brian Roberts, so opposing pitchers take note. 0-1 count, Markakis, and he will take that for a strike. He drops down towards that first base side. The left-handers really have him coming right at the rib cage.
Yeah, and then he's 6'6", long legs. And that front leg, that front leg is going to really get out there. So I got to imagine it's pretty tough. And he's got a closed stance, so it's tough to pick up.
That's Markakis against lefties. Roberts will make the turn and stay. Littlebridge will get it in. First 2 on for the Orioles. And Ty Wigginton and our Ford drive of the game as he steps in.
First 3 batters reached. Wigginton, after singles by Roberts and Markakis, will make it 1-0. And again, John Danks so tough against righties. 2 of the first 3 reach, and that's the 1 run for the O's as Ozzie will come out.
And your Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive 1. So Ozzie Guillen gets Sale in a ball game. He will work no part of an inning, gives up a hit and a walk. Responsible for the 2 who are on. We are at a 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 8th.
Kind of been the guy that'll pitch more than an inning, and he's done that on 12 occasions. But we saw him last year after he got traded from Arizona. So the last 3 years, he's been in 70-plus games each year. Hard thrower. He's got a good slider. Dominating left-handers. They're only hitting 156, 12 for 77. So again, a guy, and we'll just kind of see how they play that right here. Of course, that slider usually translates if Ty Wigginton doesn't bunt, which I don't know if he'll do because they'd probably walk Luke Scott.
Well, the right-handers, though, a number on Pena, 336 with 5 home runs off him.
So we know he's not bunting.
Well, Wigginton, runners on at first and second base. Now with Buck Showalter, I wouldn't.
Well, you don't know.
Make an advanced guess on that.
They don't think so because
they're going to play back.
Lucido is way back.
Wigginton does have one sacrifice this year. That is down low for a ball. Wigginton up with Roberts at second, and Markakis on at first base. Gary Allenson with the signs. Beckham is very close at second, trying to hold Roberts as tight as he can as they give Wigginton the whole right side of the infield.
Well, when he's healthy, nobody better in the American League to steal third base if he gets the jump, and that's why Beckham is holding him close.
Pena, the look back delivers. Wigginton away, and it's going to get away. And that will take care of the need for any bunt.
Yeah, A.J. Brzezinski can't be happy here. Take a look from behind. Looks like a ball that should have been blocked. Oh, yeah. It should be a pass ball. I don't know how they score it. It really doesn't matter how they score it. They get to second and third. That's the important thing. I don't know if he crossed him up. That might have been the case.
Looked like it right there. I mean, that's a stoppable ball by Brzezinski in almost every case. It probably will go as a wild pitch since it was in the dirt.
It's hard to tell, only because they go out there because now you have a runner at second, so you're going to change your signs. But Don Cooper on the right, the pitching coach, he said, boy, we had the double play in order.
Infield is drawn in. The 2-0 delivery on the way, and Wigginton, it is caught. Vieto at third base, able to come up with that out of the dirt, as Chris Guccione, the third base umpire, is literally standing right with him.
Yeah, real nice play, and again, didn't have to move a whole lot. And right there, Dan's going to catch it, and he's going to look to see if it's out, then holds the glove up. So how's Ozzie Guillen going to do this? Are you going to pitch to Scott, or are you going to walk him, which you would assume, and pitch to Adam Jones? A little bit better matchup.
Boy, I don't know. Left-handers hitting 160 off Pena, and right-handers 336.
Well, this inning certainly not by the book. 1-1 ball game. You bring in a guy that never pitched at the major league level. Walk and a hit. Who cares about the numbers? It's gut feeling sometimes.
This will load him up. Well, his gut won't feel good if they don't get the next out.
Oh, well, that's true.
So Adam will be coming up, and the bases are going to be loaded here in the 8th inning. There's only one away. So what you're hoping for here is that you can get the ground ball to get the double play, and we'll see how Guillen aligns the infield. Looks like he's going to bring him all the way in.
Or maybe halfway in, and if the ball is hit sharply enough, well, let's see how they're going to play it.
It's still talking about
Ramirez, they're going to go back. So they're in at first. Yeah, they're in at first and third. Obviously, you may be coming home, and up the middle, they will go for the conventional double play.
Jones is 0 for 3. He is flied out it into a fielder's choice and grounded out. One away. Bases loaded, 8th inning of a tie ball game. Tony Pena with the delivery to him. That'll be down low, and Brzezinski had to block that one, as that one ended up in the dirt. Any one of those goes by again, of course, and Orioles will have the lead.
Yeah, Adam Jones never, ever has faced Tony Pena. Now, I guess why they walked Scott, he's 3 for 4 lifetime, so I guess that number probably came into Ozzie Guillen's consciousness.
First and third will come home. Second and short will try to turn the double play out at second, and that is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike count from Pena. Orioles have not scored since the first inning, but a chance here to take the lead. They had the lead 1-0 until Beckham tied it up in the third, and it has been that way ever since. 1-1 delivery to Jones, and a pop up to the infield. Infield fly rule is in effect. Batter is out. And that is an enormous second out here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, he gets away with a high slider that Adam Jones is going to pop up. Sometimes you try to bury that slider down and away looking for double play ball, and you overthrow it, and it just stays up enough where a hitter can't get to it. Well, it's certainly a ball that you would think And a lot of times ends up being a fly ball, which is what Adams. I mean, look at this. That's just hanger right down the middle. And he just pops it straight up. Obviously not happy.
Now Corey Patterson will come on and be the pinch hitter. That announcement has been made. He'll pinch hit for Lugo, who had an 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight. Patterson as a pinch hitter has gone 0 for 1. And the discussion now will be about how they're going to work him with 2 down and the bases loaded. This has been a great ball game. 19,687-19. 687 on hand, and they've gotten to see a heck of a game. Start out this 4-game set against the White Sox. And the discussion held, and Patterson will be coming up. A walk to Roberts. He's at third. Markakis a single. He's at second. Intentional pass to Luke Scott. He is at first base.
And I'm looking to see where Konerko at first is going to play Patterson because of his ability to bunt. You wouldn't think he'd do it here, but if they give him the bunt, boy, he can bunt the ball by the pitcher with the best of them, and they are playing back.
0 for 2 off Pena. Patterson will take it. It is down low. Brian Roberts gets off third as far as he can on each one of these pitches in case one does go by, since there's already been one wild pitch in the inning.
And you'll see if the 3 at-bats with a couple of hits last night helps him, because Buck Showalter got him into the lineup against the Angels, the third game they played.
Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way. Patterson will swing and foul it off at the plate. 4 wild pitches have been charged to Pena.
Well, that's maybe the equalizer. And you talked about the low batting average. That split-fingered fastball. Real good movement. Tremendous speed at the plate. You've got forces at all bases, but again, this is not a routine guy. If you don't field the ball cleanly, Orioles have a good chance to score a run.
Outfield is straight away on Patterson. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him. Corey will take it inside, and it's 2-1. Chris Sale responsible for the first 2 runners, Roberts and Markakis.
Well, you ought to get a good pitch to hit here, because Pena has to throw a strike.
Two-one delivery on the way. Patterson will ground it down to first base, and it will be fouled. So Pena will get the count evened up at 2-2.
Yeah, you look at Tony Pena and you figure whoever their advanced scout, and they got many of them. I know Brian Doyle was in. Did a nice job, because this guy had some good numbers. And he's only 28 with the Diamondbacks. And again, multiple games, 75, 72, and last year over 70 with both the Diamondbacks and then eventually with the White Sox.
28-year-old into the stretch, 2 ball, 2 strike count. Here's the delivery with the bases loaded. That's bounced, and Kuzinski makes another nice play. Roberts back to third base.
Well, there's a splitter, and boy, if you have a veteran catcher that can block balls, you can throw this pitch. This is a terrific job right here. Just smothers it. Easily could have gotten by him or off to the side. Well, you want to be a relief pitcher? 3-2, bases loaded. A lot of fun.
Patterson ready, 3-2 delivery, and fouled off again. Everybody moving, even Brian Roberts going deep into foul territory and heading to the plate.
Yeah, pretty good pitch at 96. I mean, again, great life running back. Corey Patterson says, I'm not going to let that ball happy run back and catch the inside corner, which I think it would have. And again, more pressure on Pena to throw a quality strike, get it over.
3-2 delivery on the way. Patterson goes down swinging. Pena with a tremendous inning of work right there, and the Orioles, unable to convert, will leave the bases loaded, and it remains a 1-1 game. Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Great ball game going to the ninth inning. 1-7-0 for the Orioles. 1-6-0 for the White Sox. Koji Uehara worked an inning. He got a couple of strikeouts, gave up just one hit. He came on for Bergeson, and now Simone comes on for Uehara.
Yeah, his last appearance, not exactly what you'd like right there, but came in, gave up 3 hits, earned run, but did get a save, and was a little shaky of one. So again, outstanding stuff. Fastball, slider, and a splitter.
Simone getting ready to go with a new shortstop behind him. As Torres, who had the start off, is now in the ball game going to the ninth inning. The umpires were talking with Buck Showalter about something between innings here, and then he got on the phone to check, and I have no idea if it's lights or sound or scoreboard or whatever. But whatever it is, we should mention at this point, because these two managers have had run-ins. They had one in 2004 when Ozzie first year of managing and Buck was with the Texas Rangers. Ozzie thought Buck was not respectful towards him as a manager. And here we go. And he said after that particular ball game about Buck Showalter, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's almost not airable, but he sarcastically called Showalter Mr. Baseball. And he said, Mr. Baseball never even got a hit in AAA. I was a better player than him. I have more money than him, and I'm better looking than him. That was back in 04. Now both have said, oh, that's gone. And as we all know in life, it's not. Well, whatever it was, you saw Ozzie come out. He's looking up towards the scoreboard at something, and I just don't know what it is. In any event, watering the ivy during the fireworks night tonight, so they're watering for the fireworks, but that puts a guy right in the batter's eye on top of the board out there. That is a strike on the outside corner. Paul Konerko is singled. He's 1 for 3. He's got a 4-game hit streak.
Yeah, he is 1 home run away from what he did last year. 353 home runs in his major league career. He can hit the fastball with the best of it.
Swung on and missed. Simone on here in the ninth. Konerko, Quinton, and Kotsay, the middle of the order, 3, 4, 5, are due up against him.
And that's about as good a slider as you can throw.
He has faced none of them previously. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Konerko hitting .304 will loop that one towards center, and that's going to be a base hit. Just a punch shot right there, and Konerko's got a 2-for-4 ball game. Now you got some power coming up in Carlos Quentin and Kotsay. We will get a pinch runner here with that importance of that run, obviously. It'll be Omar Vizquel.
The 43-year-old. Well, he's only 3 years younger than Ozzie, his manager.
It's a pretty good tribute to put him out there to be the pinch runner.
Right. Well, Ozzie can't do it. He might be able to, but he can't because he's not on the active roster. But,
that's good. So Vizquel, that takes Konerko out of the ball game. I'm going to keep that in mind as we go along. Here is Carlos Quentin. And Quentin will ground it to short. Here's his tourist. There's Roberts, and there's 2.
I'll tell you one thing about Alfredo Simon. He's got good stuff. Power hitter, little splitter right there. Gets him to roll over. Routine, as long as you make the transfer. And they do. So you made a great point. Konerko out of the game. You hope that you'll be able to win it before his at-bat would come around. But if he doesn't, you have taken one of your better hitters out there. And we're certainly not second-guessing Ozzie. It makes a lot of sense.
Of course we second-guess. That's what we get paid for.
Wow.
And a ground ball towards Roberts again, and bobbled, and Kotsay will reach. An error on Brian Roberts with 2 down here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, just again, didn't get a great read. I talked about it the other day. Still like spring training, and a lot of times you just have to get back into a routine. He usually makes that play. He didn't.
So it keeps the inning alive. And Ramirez, who has singled, grounded out, hit into a fielder's choice, stands in. First error we've had in the ball game. Boy, Simone sure looks like he's got to go in tonight. 1 run, 7 hits for each team.
Well, the intriguing thing about Alfredo is he's got starter stuff. I mean, he's got 3 really good pitches. He probably would have a little trouble with his command and maybe conditioning, but.
And in the air to right field, Markakis is over, and he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. Bottom of the 9th inning, 1-1. Floyd. All right, coverage on MASN HD begins at 6:30 with those extra. Presented by your local Ford dealer, followed by game coverage at 7 on MASN HD and WJZ. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Yeah, Kevin Millwood trying to get back on the win column, and Gavin Floyd, who had a slow start but has really pitched well as of late, and he's a local kid. The same school as Mark Teixeira. So Pena, as we mentioned, 12 times he's pitched 2 innings. And 7 times 3 innings or more. So again, this is not uncharted territory for him, but what a job he did. A great strikeout of Patterson, and able to get Jones to pop up with the bases loaded. So there you go, your third baseman.
Omar Vizquel, the veteran, will come on to play at third base. Many believe he's a primary reason why they've done so well Vicedo, who had been playing over at third base, will move over to first as Konerko's come out of the ball game. Let's see if that has any impact defensively here as he moves from one corner to the other. And Matt Wieters will lead it off. Pena's delivery to him will be fouled back. It'll be Wieters, PA, and Bell due up in the ninth inning. The Orioles came away with the win in the ninth inning in the ball game last night against the Angels when Wieters led it off with a double. He would be sacrificed by Patterson, and his Torres got the game winner. So here again is Wieters leading off the bottom of the ninth inning. And that's going to be inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt with a ground ball, fly ball, and a called third strike. 2 starters outstanding tonight in Danks and Bergeson. That one to first base. Cieto's got it. He'll take it to the bag, and that'll be the first out. Check it on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. There are the results so far. You can still cast your ballot at 51862. The results coming up on the O's Extra post-game show. Pena against PA. PA 0 for 3, but in a disputed play in right field, Carlos Quentin was credited with a catch on a ball that on replay showed it had short hopped into the glove. And in a 1-1 ball game, that would have been a base hit in the 7th inning with 1 away. Instead, it was just the second out.
And the thing, you look at the numbers, and because of that trapezius pulled off the bone in his back that he missed most of the first 3.5 months, 2 home runs doesn't tell you the whole story, because if you make a mistake, this game can be over in a hurry, because he has really good power. Not a home run guy, but a guy that can hit home runs.
In at third base, Vizcaino a couple of steps.
I don't know if I've ever seen Felix punt.
Or Omar Vizquel.
Yeah.
Vizcaino's retired. 1-0 count. And that'll be inside to him. And a 2-0 count, so he gets ahead on Pena. Pa's a good fastball hitter. Pena likes to throw heat. Down goes to 2-0. And PA will foul that one away.
So you see why that number, and you talked about it, the great number against lefties, 156. Well, they'll throw the splitter in any count. And again, that ball just dropped. That's where he struck out Patterson to get out of the bases loaded situation. He doesn't make a lot of hittable pitches in the middle of the plate. That's probably why he's having a good year. You couple that with good stuff, that's a great combination. And they got him for a guy named Brandon Allen. He must be some kind of player. The Diamondbacks traded Pena over him for a young minor league infielder.
PA with a dried bat handle, 2-1 delivery on the way to him, and he'll foul that one back, and he was going for the inner harbor on that one. 355 at home, 200 on the road for PA. Only a couple of home runs, 1 here. Now a 2-ball, 2-strike count, shorten up the swing a little bit and try and get on.
Yeah, but you get back into the splitter count, and if he throws it properly, it's tough to hit anything but the top of the ball if he hit it at all.
Pena to the set and the 2-2. And PA gets it in the air. It's a bloop to right. Carlos Quentin diving, and he's got that one. PA and Quentin getting to know one another on the last 2 fly balls out there. First one questionable. That one wasn't.
Yeah, big swing and another nice read by Carlos Quentin. Gets it in the heel of the glove this time.
2 down. That will bring up Josh Bell. Bell's had a couple of strikeouts and he is grounded out. Well, in this situation, he certainly will look for a ball to drive. 2 away. And Bell takes it down low for a ball. Toronto has beaten Tampa Bay in their ball game tonight by a score of 2-1. Tampa Bay, of course, in the battle with the Yankees, now a game behind the Yankees. But the Yankees are losing in Boston, 6-3 in the 8th. Well, maybe a good night for the Red Sox, who started the day 6 games behind the Yankees.
And then Cleveland beating the Twins 5-1.
Yeah, you know the White Sox are watching that. Josh Bell, 2-0 delivery on the way from Pena. And that one in the air, left center field. Lillibridge is there, and you're going to get some free baseball. We've completed 9, and after regulation, this ball game is still tied at 1. We go to extra innings. It's presented by Fios. Jim and Rick will be along, and Ben McDonald is joining them for the post-game show as he did on the pregame tonight. And he'll be joining us here in the booth tomorrow for game number 2 of this series. The Buck Showalter, the first extra inning ball game with the O's. Orioles are 8-3 in extra inning games. The White Sox 3-4. Simone will stay on, working into the 10th inning. That will be swung out and missed by Przinsky. Alfredo Simon has worked 2 2/3 innings as a high this year. Came against Tampa Bay. Przinsky struck out, grounded out, flied out to right field, and a fine catch made by Marquez his last time up. 0-2. Had some odd plays in this game. We had the interference call when Przinsky was up in the 2nd inning when he stepped in front of Matt Wieters on the throw to second. Ended the inning with the runner Ramirez being called out after Przinsky had struck out. We had the ball that dropped in on PA that should have been a hit and was called an out. Got a fine play and a plate play on Kotze. That'll be played at first by Wigginton. Przinsky's out of there. It's been a good D game. Well, since we're in the 10th inning, let's take a look at our date in history. August 6, 1973, the great Roberto Clemente, the first Latin-born player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And in 1999, Tony Gwynn would pick up his 3,000th career hit. He would do it in a ball game in which he would go 4 for 5, and he passed Roberto Clemente in that game for 21st on the all-time career hit list. Cieda will take the pitch outside. He has struck out, popped out, struck out again. 21-year-old moving from 3rd to 1st in the ball game. Yeah, he's down 10.
Yeah, he's still looking for a ball out over the plate. All the balls in.
Simone's pitch is foul back.
Because he does swing hard. No doubt about that.
Played a lot of baseball coming up on that Cuban national team. I mean, that's a full-fledged pro team that travels around the world with a parentheses, but they play a lot of fine baseball teams. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that is going to be taken away. 2-1.
That defected in 2008, and last year played at AAA Charlotte. 4-year deal, so obviously their scouts thought high ceiling for this young man already in the big leagues.
World Baseball Classic helped expose some of these players to the rest of the world. Fouled off when it started in 2006. Some of these young Cuban players were seen really for the first time, and with scouts being able to go to where they played, which happened to be in Puerto Rico, where the Cuban national team played. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Simone working in the second inning. We are in the 10th. Each team 7 hits and a run. 2-2 delivery. And he'll miss up high and a full count. Beckham waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Macedo goes down swinging. Well, Simone gets him on a 3-2, 2 down in the 10th.
Yeah, that's a two-seam fastball that just keeps running down and in. So aggressive young hitter, good velocity, good movement. Turns out to be great location. He swings right over it.
And that will bring up Beckham. Beckham's home run that came in the 3rd inning, a solo shot, is 6th of the ball game. That's it on the board for the White Sox, and the RBI in the 1st inning by Wigginton on a single. That's it for the Orioles. Simone, strong so far.
He blisters that one right by him. That ball down and in. 2-1 count. Matt Wieters slid in, and he golfed it out of here as he tried to tomahawk that one.
Well, Simone gets ahead of him on a 2-strike count. Beckham, another high draft pick. 1st round, 8th overall in the 2008 draft for Gordon Beckham. Alfredo Simone 0-2. And Beckham will fight that one off into the seats.
As you often say, and I saw a lot from 60 feet 6 inches, guys do try to cut their swing down, but you need to read the bat. So again, if you're going to do, again, he's trying to protect, and if he's that late on your fastball, you can throw another pitch, but it better not be in the zone and speed up the bat, or that's where you really get hurt.
You got to see a splitter right there.
Well, you do, but it's got to be down. It's got to be underneath the strike zone. Another fastball away, it looks like.
0-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be down the line. That is a fair ball into the corner. PA over to get it. Beckham is on his way to second base and will pull up there with a 2-out double.
And that's just lack of focus right there, because you don't execute your pitch. You can see Wieters slide away. It's 0-2. You don't have to throw him a strike. Aggressive young hitter, a good one, as you can see. Very quick bat. And you just don't finish the pitch, and now the potential go-ahead run at second with 2 outs.
Juan Pierre extended his hit streak to 13 games with an infield single in the 8th inning. He is one of the hottest hitters in the American League coming into this ball game, and he's got a runner at second base now with 2 down. And Pierre jackknifes away, but it's a strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, mad ball, 98, with great movement.
Pierre's got 9 hits in 27 at-bats in the month of August, including 1 home run. Off second base, Beckham's got good speed and a good secondary lead. And a slow roller foul, and again, Simone able to get ahead, 2 strikes. There's the 19-12 record this season, 1-run ball games. It is the best in the American League and 3rd in the majors for Ozzie Guillen's White Sox. They're 62 and 46 on the year. Beckham at second base, keeping an eye on his Taurus.
And the outfield extremely shallow.
Simone with a 2-strike will step off.
Hey, we talked about Pena, what a bargain he was. Simone signed as a minor league free agent, and He comes into this year at 28, turned 29 back in May. So here's a guy with closer stuff, starter stuff. And you picked him up kind of on the open market.
Interesting way to chew gum. 0-2 count. Pierre. And Simone got him. Foul tipped into the mid, held on by Wieters. Couple of Ks in the inning, a double, left stranded, bottom half of the 10th inning, one apiece. Sale had come on. Nick Markakis delivered a single. Roberts and he were on. Roberts had a walk. They moved up. Then the pop-up by Jones. The third base. Patterson, a strikeout victim. And Tony Pena got the job done. The Orioles had the bases loaded there and could not convert in the eighth. So we go to the bottom half of the 10th inning. Brian Roberts will be leading off again with Markakis and Wigginton due up. Pena stays on to work here. Roberts has walked, 2 singles, and a ground ball out. Jason Birkin in the pen. Tight ball game. The 2 starters. Ferguson gave up just 1 run on 5 hits over 7. John Danks a run on 6 hits over 7. Uehara worked an inning, 2 strikeouts and a hit. Simone is still in there, having worked 2, giving up a couple of hits. And Pena has done a good job here, being extended a little bit. 1-2 count.
Yeah, this will be the 8th time he's pitched 3 innings or more if he gets that. If not, it'll be the 13th time he's pitched 2 innings or more. And you can see why. There's nobody up behind him in the bullpen. Got a nice array of pretty good stuff.
1-2 delivery. That's going to be foul back. And Brian Roberts, it remains a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Tomorrow night, right back here for Game 2. Hope you will join us. These games very meaningful for the White Sox in their race and very meaningful for the Orioles. Buck Showalter's assessment of what he has goes on with each and every one of these games through the season. 1-2 delivery on the way. Roberts will take it. Pena thought he had the corner and doesn't get the call.
Yeah, A.J. Pierzynski trying to just kind of drag it back into the strike zone. And talk about framing a pitch. He just moves that glove. Not enough. Brian Honora doesn't fall for it. Good effort, though.
2-2 delivery on the way to Roberts. Brian towards the middle. Ramirez. 1 away in the 10th. Extra innings, obviously. The first batters in extra innings just extra important because all you're trying to do in those cases is get a run, especially the home team. So it changes everything when you get the leadoff man on. Orioles do not, and Nick Markakis coming up. Markakis, a big night, 3-hit ball game. He's had 3 singles and stranded on each occasion. Back up to that 296 mark. Nick with 1 down and nobody on. And Markakis will take it for a strike. Nick has had 9 3-hit ball games now. He has not had a 4-hit game yet this year. Chance right now to have one. 0-1 delivery by Pena. That'll be away. Kozinski's had some problem hanging on to some of Pena's pitchers. They just seem to be going off the end of the glove. You see him taking a look there.
Well, that's the movement. Yeah. You know, you could look at the radar gun and see 95, 93, 97 on occasion, but it's the movement. And the splitter goes straight down.
That's a loop in the right field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Markakis has his first 4-hit ball game of the year.
See, so everything Pena throws, it's got movement, even the splitter. And Nick, you can see how good a hitter. Watch him go down and get this pitch. And he's able to do it. Again, balance, control of the bat head, the path of the bat head to the ball. Boy, he does it just about as well as anybody.
So Ty Wigginton with 1 away. The potential winning run on at first base in the bottom of the 10th. Wiggy has the RBI for the Orioles back in the first inning, a single. He is 1 for 4. Pena steps off. Markakis goes back to the bag.
He doesn't do a lot of base running. His first year 18, but this year 4 out of 5. Pretty big lead.
And Wigginton in the air. Shallow left. Man, a long run for Juan Pierre to get there, but he did. He kept looking to see if the shortstop was going to take it. Looks like he's saying to him, that was just over your head.
Ramirez says, hey, you can get it. Right there, I think he realized, I better go get it. And then there is, it's a beautiful night, but there is a little bit of breeze.
That is going to be out number 2. Markakis still on at first.
And I think Don Cooper, they watch all the films, whether it's Rick Kranitz of the Orioles, Cooper of the White Sox. He says, don't be throwing him a cutter down and in like Francisco Rodriguez did, and he hit it 442 feet to right center the other night. So again, Luke Scott, the strongest of the Oriole hitters, the most home runs. And if you make a mistake, thigh high. Tonight, though, I can look at the body language, the face language. Danks really kind of confused him. Well, maybe he will see the ball a little bit better off of Tony Pena.
Markakis, the lead at first base. Luke Scott, a single, intentional pass, struck out and grounded out. Intentional pass came in that 8th inning to load the bases up with only 1 away. And out in the air to center. Markakis reading it. Will go to third. Lillibridge's throw to the cutoff man. First and third, 2 down.
So, this will be interesting. Adam Jones, watch this bullet. A splitter that stays up, so Markakis hits a good one. Luke gets a great one to hit. And Markakis, again, above average speed, easily into third base.
The Jones will get a chance at redemption, which this game of baseball is noted for. He came up in the 8th inning with 1 away and the bases loaded, and he popped out to third. Now he's got runners at first and third, and the only one that matters is Markakis at third base.
And the scouting report has Vizquel playing a step in because he will bunt. And this would be one of those situations right here. Normally you'd be playing deep. So it really does cut off his angle.
2 down, and the pitch will be taken down low. The Orioles had their 7th walk-off in the ball game last night in the 9th inning as Torres got it. Can they get one tonight with Jones? 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position for the ball club.
Yeah, if you had any speed at first, you wouldn't be there very long because you take away the force by moving. They're playing so far behind Luke Scott. But again, coming off the hamstring about a month ago. Otherwise, you'd kind of try to stay out of the force play.
He's asking Shelby about that at first base, but it would be very risky, even if he gets a big jump, because they've got Beckham, the second baseman, over towards the bag, and he could easily get over there to cover. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Jones. Markakis at third. Adam waiting on it, down low, and Kaczynski didn't know where it was, but it was right under him.
Yeah, all he cares about is, do I keep it somewhere where the runner at third can't advance? And he's able to do that. Once again, just kind of collapse on it.
Markakis can't get too far off because Vizquel had been playing in. Vizquel's backed up a little bit now. 2 ball, 1 strike count. And a grounder to the hole, and they've done it again! Adam Jones, RBI base hit. Markakis scores the second walk-off hit in as many nights. And they win it in 10. 2-1.
Yeah, gets a fastball to hits it in the hole. Again, Vizquel playing for the bunt, no chance to get it. So it takes, about 9 innings to score another run. But great pitching. What a night for the O's again. 4 straight.
Simon will come away with the win. With a great job out of the bullpen to go 3-2. And they will beat Pena tonight out of the bullpen. And a game-winning RBI for Adam Jones. Again tomorrow, Game 2, Kevin Millwood against Gavin Floyd. O's Extra presented by your local Ford dealer. Comes to you at 6:30 on MASN HD, followed by game coverage at 7 on MASN HD and WJZ. For Jim Palmer, Ambrose, Theo Harrison, our great crew here, we bid you adieu from Camden Yards. A tremendous ball game, won in 10 innings by the Orioles, 2-1. This has been a MASN presentation. O's